Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Flesh and Blood stream. Tonight, we are going to be doing our last testing for Nationals tonight. I'm going to be playing KO. I've made a couple of changes to the list since I played it last. I've added strength rules all over the weakest link in the interest of trying to play more towards Blood Rush Bellows or Blood Rush Bellow, and the idea that that is your power card and you want that to be a 1 for 6 or a 1 for 8 as often as humanly possible. So we're looking to try and make that happen tonight. And also, I think that strength rules all also has some decent play into ninjas, depending on what they're arsenaling and like what they're trying to set up. So if they're trying to arsenal a card, like an attack action, then we have a decent chance at actually trying to get some value off of strength rules all and trying to make that happen tonight. So what a ballin' shirt. Should have got me one. Dude, Ben, somebody pretty cool got me this shirt, man. I wear it quite regularly. I'm a pretty big fan of it. Oh, all right. Let's get into it. Let's do it. Let's see. I've already got the deck loaded up over here, and we're just ready to jump into games and just start playing. I'm curious to see what we play against tonight and how it feels. Playing against Zen, that's exactly what we wanted. This is a matchup I want to be playing. I want to be testing against. So I have my 55 card main deck that I'm running, and then I'm going to run Sensors, Strength Rules All, and I'm going to run Clash of Agility, and we're going to cut some no blocks from the deck. Now, the decision that we have to make tonight, and kind of where my head rolls in, is do I want to cut Bear Fangs? It is a very good 2-card hand, or do I want to cut Pulping? Maybe I'm supposed to cut Pulping and cut the Wild Rides. I don't know. This is an interesting decision because I don't really want to be on 64 cards. So I think we're in a decision where we're at a point where we have to decide which we want to cut. And I think that Bear Fangs being a 2 for 9 has the most value. And Wild Ride is the most consistent go again. And Pulping probably the worst card that we're actually playing here in the list into this. So I think that cutting a no block into Ninja is pretty good. Especially when we are set up to go first. Or I'm sorry, when we're set up to go second, when we can, looking at this hand, discard a windup and try to have some value here. So let's block with Riled Up. We'll take one. The one downfall of us going second is that they are going to get to leak some damage. There is no doubt about that. They are 100% going to get the leak damage here. We'll block with the blue windup. Fluster Fist for 4. Okay, so I think it's worth taking 2 to be able to set up the agility here on turn 0. This seems like a pretty good exchange for me, I think, in the grand scheme of things. Yo, Trent, what's up, dude? How are you, brother? Hey, Cusco, what's up, buddy? How are you, man? Well, we immediately draw into a runner, which is awesome. Being able to cycle this agility is a great play. Honestly, I love to see this. This is fantastic. So 6 with an agility is awesome. And then we get to throw, the fact that they're blocking is really good for us too. And then we get to throw the Swing Big here. I think that's better than arsenaling. This is probably, I don't know if they're on Command and Conquerors. it's, Thigh was one of those heroes that liked to play Command and Conquer because it had a lot of value randomly, but I think we just want to throw the Swing Big here. This is just a race, and setting up a 5-card hand might not be the way to go in this matchup. I'm not sure. That's right, Oonga Boonga KO vibes. We're just trying to run our opponents over, man. That's what we're here for. That's what I'm hoping to do at Nationals. Just, high roll some people and have some good draws. Okay, this is an interesting hand, to say the least. Did my opponent... What just happened? They played Sacred Art, and they picked to Transcend. Okay, so they're going to try and go for the combo line this turn. I kind of hate that this hand wastes the agility. This is kind of awkward. Of course, I guess we don't really get that much value from blocking. We could just go Censor into Censor, Arsenal the Bear Fangs here. Have you caught the challenge that Scowling started this week? No, what was the challenge he started this week? I think Zen can go nuts without CNC. Yeah, for sure. Zen can definitely just kind of go ham without having the CNC. It doesn't really need CNC. It's definitely not one of those things that it needs to really go ham. That's for sure. That's definitely the start we like to see. That's for sure, man. Absolutely. Debating if I want to block 3 just to block. We could throw the Bear Fangs and try to Arsenal the Censor, I guess, depending on like what our hand looks like. We might end up arsenaling something else. That's one of my main concerns with this hand. If we had a blue, it would be pretty easy for me to just consider blocking. Like, to just block with the Censor and then just, like, throw decent amount of damage here. We could also... man, I don't know. Yeah, I think we're just going to pitch the Bear Fangs to play the... Or I'm sorry, we're going to pitch the Beast Within to play the Bear Fangs and hope that we get to Arsenal the Censor here. Having a card that prevents just a good amount of damage and, you know, or I'm sorry, a card that tries to prevent a good amount of damage offensively, I mean, is pretty solid for us. This hand is pretty awkward. So let's just block 6. I think we'll just play the life game here. We'll just try to stay ahead on life and just try to play that game. And then we'll throw 6 at our opponent here. Knowing that we can just name Art of War if they let this hit, which is exactly what we want to be doing with this. So he's doing an A to Z of all the CC heroes to see how long it takes him to win a game with each hero. Ooh, that's fun. That could be a pretty cool thing to do. I could see that being pretty fun, honestly. That's true. Fi did have Belittle and extra resources, which made playing cards like CNC more viable and I think a lot easier to do. I'm going to take 2, and then we're going to see what comes in after this, because I could block with the Rough Shot here to block 3, which technically saves more life if we wanted to. Okay, so this doesn't matter. So we're just going to block Rough Shot. We're going to throw the Command and Conquer and discard the Agile Windup here to make a Might and an Agility for next turn, and forcing some cards from our opponent, more than likely forcing some cards here. The final US Nats prep. He's not going next year. It's his last year. Hey, Will, what's up, dude? How are you, buddy? He got an Arachne win and started his Azalea games yesterday. One with Azalea, Betsy, and Bravo today. See, that's a really fun challenge to, like, think about somebody doing. Like, that's really cool. And, like, that's very entertaining and, like, something that's, like, fun to watch. So, like, Simon definitely on to something there. Ooh, interesting. All right, so trying to go ham here with the turn, obviously. That's, like, clearly what we're up to. If nothing else, we get value out of the Might this turn, which is pretty good. We can also try to flesh bag him here and just try to... Man, I'm pretty tempted to just get flesh bag and try to, like, have a really good hand with the agility, because this hand is insane. I also think we're in a lot better spot this game if we've drawn a Blood Rush at any point to this game. So that also, like, changes the outcome of this game very much so. I have a goal of having LL points on one hero from every class. Ooh, that's kind of fun. That's pretty cool, Cusco. That would be a fun thing to do. Wind Chakra, and then played Rising Sun, Setting Moon, which is the filter. The filter chi. Honestly, Zen is one of the heroes I'm looking to play into the most tonight, to, like, see how it feels. Let's block like this. Whoa, what is happening? There's a lot of lag here. All right. Okay, so it did put the sash up there. Good. Okay. And activate Zen to get a Bonds of Ancestry. Okay, and we take a card. So hopefully trying to slow my opponent down just a little bit here, because if we can have a really good hand with some disruption, we might be able to make something happen on our turn. I'm debating if I want to give Scabs here just to block life. Yeah, this is not an on-hit effect. This is just an effect that happens. So, Kakara for 2. No. Oh, he needs the resource here. I guess we'll save for the on-hit effect in case there is something at the end. Just trying to, I don't know, just trying to maybe see if there's an on-hit here at the end of the turn. To my knowledge, there's not another Tiger. To my knowledge, there's not anyway. You're such a positive presence in the Fab online community. It's always a joy to catch a stream. Good luck at Nats. Dude, Peyton, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. That means a whole lot. That's it's really kind words to hear. I really appreciate that, brother. Oh, man, what a good turn from our opponent. So this next one's also going to be for 4. So, I mean, this hand better be good. Like, if we're trying to do this as much as we can here, this hand better be good. This is like one of the problems with this matchup, honestly. Let's just block scabs here. We'll just try to block and hang on here. The crazy part's they still get a card to Arsenal, depending on whatever we took, which is tough. All right. Let's see what we can do. We need a go again card to like really make this hand like cracked, to like really do anything insane here. So let's see. This costs 2. So I do need to crack the sash here to be able to make anything happen. We're probably going to roll scabs, to be honest. Like, that's probably where we're at right now. So let's lead on Pack Hunt. I think that is the best place we can lead on. This is 9 go again and take a card from their hand, which is pretty solid. Hey, Coco, what's up, buddy? Just want to say good luck this weekend before I go back to eating and lurking. Hope to see you kicking butt this weekend if there's a stream. Dude, Coco, I really appreciate that, brother. I've done quite a bit of prep for this event, so I'm hoping to see a good turnaround from this event. I appreciate the kind words, man. I appreciate you coming by. I hope you enjoy your dinner and your evening, brother. All right, we need a big roll here. I think we need to roll. That is like step 1 of us having a chance. So this is 8 with a relevant on-hit effect. Okay. So they're protecting something in their arsenal here. Okay, so it has to have less damage. And then this is hopefully for 10. So, I mean, this is... You have to give me a card here. And if you do, you're taking 7 and going down to 1, which means if we draw into a Reckless Swing, we can win the game. We do not draw into a Reckless Swing. Man, this is an awkward hand. I guess we're going to be trying to block with just the Blood Rush Bellow here. What happened here? So they played Wind Chakra and Passover. So the next Tiger gets +3. So they have a Tiger, and they're going to go search for a card. We might need to be prepared that they can take every card out of our hand here. We might need to be prepared that they can take every card out of our hand. Hey, Fabton, what's up, dude, man? I appreciate you coming by and hanging out, man. I appreciate the kind words about the prep. I'm kind of hoping to finalize the list a little bit tonight, man. I've been enjoying your videos of you playing Vincent, brother. I was like, I have been enjoying it very much. Watching you play Redline Vincent, it's been fun. Oh no, that's so bad. I almost blocked with the Bone Breaker. The Kakara here. Oh, so they're gonna get... Man, okay. So the Tigers for 1. So I can go to 1, block with 2 card, block with Agile Windup and E-Strike, and then claw for 4 to take 2 cards out of their hand. But I'll be at 1, which means like every single card is lethal, which is tough. Yeah, I think we're forced to pitch like this. Now, we do have an equipment block here to like bail us out if they do have a Tiger next turn or something they want to do, which is kind of good for us. But I think that swinging the claw for 4 and taking 2 cards out of our opponent's hand is better than... I think is better than actually... my opponent's apologizing here for wanting to... they wanted to play Art of War before blocks here. Like, no apologies necessary. I completely understand. But... yeah. So I think taking 2 cards out of their hand, or I guess like we're only taking 1 card, but we essentially took 2 cards anyway. So I don't know. It seems okay to me. Okay, so they're going to transcend and shuffle. So it's going to be Chi to get a Tiger and a card. I don't know that we can get out of this. We might be Dunsky here. The Mauling Key or Mauling Chi or whatever it's called, somewhere at the beginning of the game. This is a 1 for 5. So we're not technically dead this turn because we get to block with Bonebreaker here, but I think we're still dead. So yeah, this is not looking good. I mean, the defensive Artivore was a W, but their hand, like, I think double Chi was way better than I thought it was going to be. So we're forced to block like this, and then Arsenal the Wild Ride. And then we have to hope that there's a turn where they leave us with 1 card so that we can play the Wild Ride. Unfortunately, like, we just weren't able to keep a yellow or a blue and strip a card out of their hand, but drawing into no blocks this late in the game means we're probably just going to lose. The fact that they hit a 0 for 4 means we're like 100% dead. Like, I don't think there's a world where we're not dead here. That's very unfortunate, considering how this game played out. I actually really thought that we were going to win this game, even after everything that happened. I mean, I guess we are just playing to the out of drawing reckless. Like, Trip makes a good point. Like, that is just the out we're playing to. But I think this was our turn to draw reckless. It is interesting, though. We've played, 8 turns and not seen a reckless all game, which is surprising. We get both of our cards and then die to the Tiger. Unfortunate. How's your new matchup? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not great, but I think it's okay. I don't think it's, like, terrible or anything. It's fine, I would say. Yep, and then we take 1, and man, that was a good game. We had a 15.5 AVPT over 8 turns, and they were still able to close it out. I think that's like a real, like, I think that's a like a pretty good, like, standard to how powerful Zen is, to be honest, especially into, a deck like KO where, like, there's not really any, like, crazy disruption effects. And even on the turn that they did have a disruption effect, or that I did have with the Strength Rules All, they had the ability to just block with 2 pieces of equipment to protect their 1 for 4, which inevitably put them in the driver's seat. I was really hopeful that being able to take 2 cards out of their hand that late in the game was going to put us in a good spot. I think we want to go second here, right? Like, I think we just always want to go second. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think this is a Tunic matchup, a Gloves matchup. No, this is this is Gloves and this is Sash. Let's see. Into this matchup, we want Wild Rides because they're crazy good go again. Agility is very solid. There's not really attacks that we're looking to banish, but the question is, would I rather have this card as a 2 for 6 over something else? So I don't know. I think we could just run 61 cards here, right? Like, the ability to just run the natural 55 card deck paired together with agilities for go again and Wild Ride is pretty solid here. I don't really want Smashing Performance. Sensors are like mediocre in this matchup. We really want those for the Mirror and for the Ninja matchup. So I think we're just going to run it like this. I'm pretty sure this is how I want to run it in this matchup. And I think going second is correct because they're able to put in some auras, but we want to be able to put them on the back foot first. That's ultimately what I'm going for here and what I want to be able to try and accomplish. My opponent's going to attack. Okay. So we're going to block with Wrecker Romp here. That's fine. And this is a game that if we get behind, I will probably roll Scabs more aggressively because it is very possible for us to get behind in this game and for our opponent to really put a good amount of pressure on us. We just have to be careful with how the game plays out and how we look to enter the mid/late game-ish. So let's discard the Agile Windup to make a new Agility and a Might for next turn. And then let's lead on Wild Ride. This has go again regardless. I was like, if we get lucky enough to discard the Beast Within, we could put together a pretty good turn here. Not being able to keep the rough shot here, drawing into 2 blue 3s was pretty tough. That's like a little awkward, I feel like. Yeah, it's a little tough. I feel like looking at like how this hand could have paired up, because there are a lot of like good two cost cards that we could draw into. Even some decent blue 2-cost cards that we could draw into. A rough shot off the top would have been good here. We could have went claw and a rough shot. Multiple things that we could have seen that would have made this hand better. Hey, Brim, what's up, dude? How are you, buddy? So our opponent just going to lose. Now they're going to give us the unmovable. All right, cool. That works. So they give us the unmovable. And then I think we're just going to throw the assault and battery for 5. There might be a world where I'm supposed to throw claw and then arsenal assault and battery. But I would rather force them to either have another defense reaction or to give us 2 cards or give up their aura here at this point in the game. I already have the agility, so we're not really worried about the additional text on assault and battery. Just trying to push the tempo here. Think you keep roughshod and pitch the wind up off the chance you keep it? I mean, that's very possible. The idea was that I wanted to discard the Beast Within there. I wanted to give myself the highest probability to discard Beast Within to make that hand as good as I could. But, you know, again, it is what it is. I don't know. That's an interesting choice though, Justin. Like, to think about the agility not having I guess I weighed the value of the agility over the value of being able to keep roughshod there. I wasn't really considering the fact that in a 22 blue deck we hit double blue off what we were looking to hit there. Because yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Like that's an interesting decision. So we're gonna name draw a card. Because we have the go again, we have the agility token from last turn. And then I will just be pitching both of my cards to throw claw after this. I was hoping that we could hit a blue and then throw the pack hunt to again try and clear the board and set up. But I am definitely going to be looking to arsenal the Blood Rush Bellow and try to get as much value as I can. There could also be an argument here to just passing, because the Blood Rush Bellow paired with the Wild Ride is an extremely aggressive start to this game and a very good way to clear off the board and start playing offense and putting myself in the driver's seat. But I don't know. It's an interesting decision point there, and like where the value lies, and like are we like more interested in pushing? Are we more interested in setting up? Like how do I want to force my opponent's hand here? Because with 2 cards in an arsenal, they could still set up a pretty decent aura and try to like push more board presence here. I don't know. Maybe it was a better play to go E-Strike, putting the pack hunt on the bottom, naming draw card, because we can E-Strike no matter what, but now we're forced into like making an interesting decision and also pitch stacking a little bit worse. So I think it was probably actually correct just to go E-Strike, draw card, putting the pack hunt on the bottom, knowing that even if we do draw red, we are capable of still throwing the other E-Strike, which makes more sense and gives us more potential value there. Hey King, what's up, dude? E-Strike into E-Strike. Yeah, so yeah, you guys caught it like before my brain had really processed it there, and before I had like tried to put it together. Going E-Strike into E-Strike was, I think, definitely the better play there. It forces more damage, and we're setting ourselves up to where even if I do draw into a red, I'm guaranteed to have the value that I want. Just throw in 7 here, huh? All right, well, I'm going to block with Sash in case we want to use it this turn. Glad you're playing this tonight. Been going back and forth between this and Azalea for the calling. I think I'm pretty locked in on KO, honestly. I think I have a sneaking suspicion, and again, I can't really say this for sure with any certainty, but I have a sneaking suspicion that there is going to be quite a bit of Prism in the room, and I think that you have a better Prism spread on KO than you do on Ninja, and so I think that's kind of like my thought process there. So if I crack Sash, I told my opponent we were thinking here. So if I crack Sash, I'm able to lead on pulping, 1 floating, pitch this to play this, 2 floating, play Wild Ride, whatever's left. If it's a 2-coster, I'm able to throw it. If I don't do that, I'm able to pitch this, have nothing floating. If I discard my blue, I'm up a creek. This feels like a crack Sash and just try to like go ham turn here. Feels like a pretty good turn to be trying to accomplish that. We have multiple options here as far as like what we're trying to throw and how we're trying to get our value. hopefully setting ourselves up in a positive way by clearing the board and also pushing as much damage going in the next turn. What makes you think there will be a large amount of Prism? Genuinely curious. So this is, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm going to call it like mother's intuition here. I don't really have any like reason to sit and say that like, oh, I think that, you know, Prism is going to be a large part of the metagame because of this, this, or this. I think that we haven't been talking about Prism over the last few weeks. And I think that people come out of the woodwork to play Prism because Prism's a great deck and it has a lot of value and things it can do. And so I think in order to try and combat the like kind of like, I don't know if you want to call it like open metagame a little bit, people are going to play Prism because it has a better matchup spread into other things. Personally, that's kind of where I think we're at. With KO is this matchup at Ninjas. Azalea, it's Prism, and the off chance there's a lot of Guardians. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, honestly, like, this matchup is kind of just like, what are you taking your chances against? This was kind of a rough arsenal to have, but I think that's okay. I'm actually just really interested in killing the Rage Spectre by giving them the Reckless Swing. Seems like a massive W for us here. Think it is a major W here. We get to just go ahead and kill this, taking this off the board. And so now we're playing into a clean board and trying to push damage. So I'm going to throw the Smash Instinct to clear it out of my arsenal for 6 with the Intimidate effect, which can be pretty solid against Enigma, considering they're playing a lot of defensive like cards. And then we're also looking at Pack Hunt here in our arsenal, which is a much better arsenal. I fully agree with that opinion on Prism. That deck is cracked in the right hands. It 100% is. Like, I agree, Jesse. Like, it is a very strong deck into the right hands, and I think a lot of people are not taking for it right now, and they're just taking for Enigma. And so, again, like, that's, I kind of go back to, like, you know, like what Jody was asking. I don't have like a, hey, this is what's going to happen because of this. I just think that Prism is like somebody who plays a lot of Prism is looking at the metagame from the outside going, you know what? Prism's looking pretty good right now. And I think they're right. So I'm sorry. Is that a pummel? Bros of Stalin, is that a pummel? That is an individual that knows what they're about. I hope you're wrong as a Kano main. I get that, Ryan. Dude, yeah, Intimidate's so good against Enigma Trent. Wholeheartedly. Just helps you clear the board. Just so much value for you. I mean, we can just block. Or do I just take 6 here? Like, is my hand just that good? My hand feels pretty good right here. Get down, Mr. President. There's a pummel. Oh, it's a fun thing to say. Now, all of our things do have -1 here, so that's kind of like can be a little awkward at times, but I think we're going to clear this and set ourselves up with a pretty, I'm hoping for a pretty aggressive turn. All right, so we discarded the Swing Big instead of that Blood Rush Bellow. Thank God. That would have been terrible for us. So what do you guys, I'm thinking right now, my thought is play Claw pitching the Wild Ride and then pitch the Swing Big to play the Pack Hunt. And then Arsenal the Blood Rush Bellow and try to use this Blood Rush Bellow to like really put ourselves in the driver's seat. I think that's like a good play here. I've also got a better strat into Enigma now. I know you smoked when we played that matchup, but I love the puzzle of playing into Enigma as Rhinar. I think that there is like a playing into Enigma as like any deck is like an interesting puzzle because it doesn't offer you the same frustrations that OG Prism offered you, and I think there's something to be said for that. Actually, are we just better off to throw the Swing Big here and then just go into our turn with this? Because I mean, we're gonna throw this for 7. They could Arsenal 2 cards to end up with a. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. This round's on me, so I think we're better off to just come in for 7 here. I mean, it's 2 into 5 without having a pack hunt for next turn, or it's the same amount of damage and have a pack hunt for next turn. The downfall of the Quicken token and this being a little bit easier to incrementally block as opposed to 2 and 5. 7 is an easier breakpoint to block, so I'd pitch Swing Big and throw the attack from Arsenal, then Arsenal the Wild Ride. Okay, you could talk me into that, throwing 5 with an Intimidate there. And then arsenaling the yellow Wild Ride and keeping the Blood Rush in hand, so that way we have guaranteed go again next turn. I don't hate that either. That seems like a solid play, actually. I kind of like that, Justin. That actually seems like a better line to have taken there, I think. It is less damage we get on this end of the turn cycle, but we're setting ourselves up for a guaranteed more aggressive turn cycle. Now, I might get lucky and just draw into like a go again card anyway. All right, well, we're going to hope that we discard the Beast Within. Man, I'm so good at this game. I'm trolling, by the way. Nobody have a stroke thinking that I'm actually just sitting here like thinking I'm Giga Brain because I got lucky to draw into that. I mean, we could just like try to just like be balling right here. I also think that might be a little aggressive. So I don't hate the concept of pitching a Blood Rush Bellow here, because having this for second cycle to like potentially like win us the game that late in the game, like when we're like facing getting fatigued, could be insane here. So the immediate line that stands out to me is Claw into pitch Wild Ride for the pack hunt, or we could roll to see what we get, and then go Claw, pitch Wild Ride for pack hunt into nothing. I guess I miscounted. That doesn't work at all. So I think we're just playing the Blood Rush here, right? Do it. Gas. All right, we're playing the Blood Rush. I don't know if it's correct here. If someone disagrees, I'm more than happy to hear like an altering opinion. But I do like that idea. So let's go Claw for 8. Value Town, population KO. Let's go. You'll love to see it. Oh, we should 100% Claw before we roll. That is a lesson that I learned the hard way one night testing offline. I wasn't thinking, and I rolled a 1 and thought, you know what? I could have at least gotten Claw here because it was a part of my plan no matter what. So 100% agree. That's a very good point, Brim. Appreciate you pointing that out. Okay, they block 5 off of the hold the line. Value Town, population Enigma. And then we're going to throw the Wild Ride. We do discard the Beast Within. Man, that's crazy. So you mean to tell me that I get to go pulping here into the pack hunt? They did play a blue card, so they do get to activate Enigma's ability, which they'll probably use offensively if I had to guess. Like, you're always better off using that offensively. This is 10 Dominate Go Again into 10. Are they just dead? I mean, I guess they always have the ability to activate Meridian Path, right? So they're not just dead. That's just me being a little too aggressive here, but this is a solid plan. I mean, this was like playing that second Blood Rush Bellow, when you discard the Beast Within twice in one game, it's pretty solid. So they are going to activate Enigma, and I assume they're going to give up Meridian Path here. Yeah, they are playing Ultimate Defense, which I think is a solid plan. They take 6, go to 11, and from here, the pack hunt is going to put them... Sure, we'll intimidate them. Is going to put them down to 1, unless they decide to give us the Traverse and pass up on the Chi. They have not made a Chi to this point in the game, so it would definitely be better if they tried to wait on this. But I also understand that them going to 1 is a very scary proposition, because they're playing Pummel, which means they're playing we're probably playing like CNCs and like more Battlefront Bastions, which means that we have windows where if they don't have an instant speed aura, we can get them with another Reckless Swing, just as a possibility. So let's go like this. I think that's what we want to do. I don't like this hand, unfortunately. I think the best play we have is just to throw the Bear Fangs. We can pitch the Runner to try and maybe set up an agility with it. So let's go like this, and we're going to try and keep the pulping to Arsenal here. Maybe I'm better off to... Okay, I mean, that's still a fine one to Arsenal. So this is 9, make a might. Unless they have, like, the 3 cards that don't block. Just, you know, we're not going to win the game this turn. But what made you want to take Scabskin over Trackers? So I haven't really tested Trackers too much because I think that Scabskins offer, like Scabskin Leathers offers more value overall across the metagame. Now, maybe there's a world where against Ninja, I actually want to have the Trackers so that it just enables a turn for me to go ham with the Sash. Maybe there's a world where that's the play I want to make, and I'm supposed to, like, cut one of my dash pieces, so I could cut like an Arg Smash. I could cut the Arg Smash and leave in the smashing performance as a way to enable like a Ninja plan where I'm giving up 2 points of life defensively for potentially 5 to 6 points of life offensively. Or I'm sorry, 5 to 6 points of life is not exactly accurate. Yeah, I was like, that's definitely not what they were trying to accomplish. They definitely wanted to activate Enigma. I was waiting to see if they were going to undo there, but... So, no, that's a very good question, Roast. That is not a question that I've had talked about. If you feel that Tracker, like, what matchups do you want Trackers for, specifically? The Tunic versus Sash into this matchup is an interesting thought. So, Justin, when I started testing this matchup, my original thought was, you play, like, I play Sash into KO... Okay. And then they're going to keep the Waxing Spectre and let the Uphold Tradition eat this. Okay, that makes more sense. You know, like into Prism, I run the Sash because it blocks and enables a Banana's turn over Tunic. And that was kind of my thought process going into testing with this matchup, but I haven't truly had... I don't know. I haven't... It's felt good enough to where I've only played 1 or 2 games on Tunic, and when I was just like, you know what, this is good enough. I don't really need to like jam Tunic that hard to see if it works. Of the new arm piece against the ninjas, when you say the new arm piece, are you talking about Hide Tanner? Is that what you mean, Justin? Hey, Blake, what's up, buddy? How are you, man? So this is 7 go again. They said good game in the chat already. What was their hand? Oh, they drew 3 manifestations of Mirror Guy. That's interesting. Yeah, sure, I'll rematch you. That's fine. Sorry, I forgot to update the record. Let's see here. We are 1-1. We lost to a Zen early on in the evening. And by early on, I mean like round 1. And then right there, we actually ended up winning against Enigma. So let's run back here our sideboarding choices. Clash of Agility, because it has value. Wild Ride, and we just ran the 61 card special into our opponent, which I think makes a lot of sense. Felt very good that game, and I think it'll probably continue to feel very good again. I'm just going to pass so that they can't actually put anything into play. And if they do, I would be very surprised. If they do, I'm going to... what are we looking for? Let's do this. I think we'll Arsenal this. I was like, and if we do... Yeah, I would have been surprised if they put something into play. I would have just thrown the Beast within there if they did. Pew pew, I'm so ready for calling Minneapolis. Dude, Prince, let's go, man. That's exciting. I'm also very excited for Minneapolis. No, the generic one. I can't remember the name. Oh, Stonewall Gauntlet. Okay, so let's talk about Stonewall Gauntlet in all seriousness, because I think that card's a trap. Like, I think that card is, like, not that great, in all honesty. I'm not a fan. Like, that card seems extremely mediocre. That card looks like it blocks for 2 when I see it. Most of the time. I think if you're playing against what I would say is a competent ninja player, I think that thing blocks for 2. I'm not a big fan. So I'm also in the camp of what Trent just said, that I think you like literally just block 2. Or you just, I'm sorry, you just break the chain. Like, if they just break the chain. It annihilates Bolton. Now, it does seem like it has good play into Bolton because they are specifically, like, on this chain, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I mean, could be very good into Bolton, that's for sure. I definitely see that. I just don't think that it has the value into Ninja that everyone wants it to have. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, if you've tested it and, you know, you have, like, you know, 15 to 20 games on it and you'd like to share that data with me and tell me that I'm wrong, I'm more than happy to, you know, hear you out and kind of go from there. But, you know, off the top of my head, I don't like it, to be honest. Remember, if they break the chain, they lose bond targets. I mean, so they lose bond targets, but, like, if they play Art of War and then attack with something, like, an attack with, like, the Kakara to start their turn with or something like that, I like, and I block with the gauntlets to, like, try and stop it, they literally just break the chain. Like, are you saying that if I'm going to use it against Ninja, I have to wait until they throw Descendant Gust Wave at me, and then from there, like, block with it because I know it's going to get value off the bonds targets? I mean, it impacts Katsu more than Zen since it's more reliant on the combo line. So, I mean, yeah, sure. If they're looking to, like, hard keep the combo intact, like going through the entire chain, like against a deck like Katsu, then yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense that you could get value out of it there, but I don't know. Like, searching for a chi pretty early in the game. D-React from Arsenal? Yeah. That's fine. I kind of figured that they had it there. Not much I could really do about it. That was the way my hand lined up. We could have rolled, try to get a little aggressive, but I think that might be a little bit too aggressive for my taste from where we're sitting. This hand feels like a roll hand to me. Just depends on the combo line they are going for. Yeah, so maybe that's a card that has more value than I think, and you just very actively have to pick your spots offensively, or I'm sorry, defensively, to, like, make sure that you get what you want out of it. I think this is a keep our hand and roll kind of hand. And if we happen to roll a 6, then we're just going to go crazy. But I don't know. I love that people always use Uphold Tradition on this. Like, this is, like, people always give Uphold Tradition on Manifestation of Mirror Guy. And I mean, to be fair, it makes sense. Just going to remove all of the counters from the Coalescence. Okay. So this now has ward 0, which means the first time they take damage, it's going to get a lot of value. I'm going to block with Sash just because we're probably going to pretty early here. They swing with a Gust attack. They probably don't want to break the chain. I mean, you are getting more than +1 value, so if they want to, like, have a combo line, then sure. Like, against Katsu, I can see the value there. Again, that's why I said that, like, I'm not just going to say that it's wrong, but again, I don't, from what I've seen and how it's felt so far to me, it does not feel like where I want to be. No, we're not going to reroll Gambler's Gloves. This is fine with me. We're going to go Swing Big. We're going to go Swing Big into Swing Big here. I mean, it's going to be a 4-card, 17-point hand. They are going to get a, a Quicken token, but, you know, that sweet Spectral Shield at the end. Blake, you better calm down over there. My brain is always Guardian Brain, so it's competing with Iron Will, and it feels like... So, I don't think that as, like, if you're talking about Victor Brim, I don't know that you need that card in Victor, like especially against Zen, because I think Zen is more of an issue for you than Katsu is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Katsu is free. Like, let's not... Please, nobody misunderstand what I'm saying, because it's not in any capacity, but... I don't know. If they don't have something else, this clears the board. So they blocked with Swing Big and took 5, and we clear the board. I was told the other day that this is supposed to die because it technically has ward 0. If somebody can confirm that for me or not. What about Rouse the Ancients and KO? I haven't really tried it. A lot of people tested Rouse pretty early on, but it seemed pretty mid. I'm just waiting on the generic L leg piece for my merchant deck. That sounds like a UPF deck. It's a matter of if you feel the value delta between Scabs and Trackers or Apex and Stonewall is higher. So, I mean, that's fair. That makes a lot of sense. I do think that Apex like really plays into your game plan efficiently, because the fact that it plays into your game plan so efficiently, like, and I say that because it's also like it's worth 5 points. It's Goliath Gauntlet that blocks for 3, and I think there's a lot of value in that. So they're just gonna name draw card here, and I have no interest in blocking. I mean, we could just give the flesh bag here to like try and stop something from their hand, I guess, since they drew a card. I don't really know of a turn we get a ton of value out of this thing, so I'm interested in just trying to see what we can do, I guess. And they just pass. 3 visits would be broken if it didn't work that way. 100% agree. Manifestation dies at Ward 0 the next time they take damage. Okay, thank you, Doubt. I appreciate you confirming that for me. Maybe we get lucky and discard the Beast Within again? Not that lucky, huh? Not that lucky. So 6 go again. And then, I mean, we can go Claw into Command and Conquer. And it doesn't look like the pulping is going to be that good anyway, because it looks like they're camping that arsenal pretty hard, which means they probably drew like an unmovable or something like very solid. I'd rather include Zealous. You could talk me into playing Zealous, honestly. You effectively need 3 blues in that hand to be good enough. I mean, so you need 3 blues like in KO, which is not solid, which like I understand, or it's not reliable, I guess. I have always been curious to play about playing Zealous Belting in my deck because I thought it would. I've always thought it would be fun. I've always thought that playing Zealous Belting would be a lot of fun. What did we get? No, it was a Spectral Manifestations. So they're trying to set up the Manifestations and 10-year reunion or 10,000 year reunion to try and make that happen. So we can take 4. And if we take 4, go to 16, I throw the Pack Hunt for 7. And then discard the Agile Windup. That seems fine, right? I mean, we're pushing damage, trying to, I guess, like taking a turn off in a way, if you will. We could get aggressive and like roll to break Sash to go Pack Hunt into Claw, but I think we're trying to be a little bit too overzealous with that. Haha, overzealous. You get it? Because we're talking about Zealous Belting. All right, just me. Actually doesn't feel that bad. It's almost another guaranteed go again. It's another generic. I don't really have any interest in discarding Wind Up on their turn. I don't make a Might from it. I only make a Might on my turn, so I'm a pretty big advocate of discarding Agile Wind Up on my turn almost 100% of the time. Now, clearly, nothing is always 100% of the time. There's always like rules that we can break there with that, but most of the time, like I would say majority of the time, I am an avid we're going to discard the Wind Up on my turn. My opponent said they're thinking, and no problem. If they draw the instant thing now, I don't know what instant thing you're talking about, Blake. Like, buddy, you got to be a little bit more specific than the new blue card, man. Like, there's a lot of new blue cards, bro. You got to help me out a little bit here, fam. I think when it comes to generic 5s, I like Censor better, but then again, I haven't touched KO since Heavy Hitters released. So I have to say, like, bro, Censor has felt like really good. Censor has felt like solid. I have been a big fan of that card. Uh-oh. Is it 10,000 year reunion time? No, not quite. So, looking at my hand, we pitch our blue to play Runner. Hang on. Let's think about this. Feels like there's a way to do it all here. Pitch our blue to play runner. Okay, so what do you guys think about pitch a blue to play runner without cracking Sash, E-strike the Beast Within on the bottom for go again, and then break Sash to throw Command and Conquer? Depending on how they've played out their turn. I actually kind of like that. Ripple Away? I mean, I guess, yeah, they could have had Ripple Away on my turn. That would have been fine. Okay, so we're not going to make that play now. We're going to give the Beast Within here and actually just lose the... and give them a Spectral Shield, which is fine. I think that's okay. I don't think it copies the counters when you break Metamorph. So I'm pretty sure it's just that. So this is 6 go again because of the this round's on me from last turn. Okay, so now we don't make an agility, which I'm going to be honest, considering the life threshold race we're having right now, I think I'm actually okay with them discarding Ripple Away. Ripple Away is a blue M that gets more value early on in the game because of how like card value, I'm going to say, like, appreciates the longer the game goes, because blocking 3 gets more value at the end of the game, in my opinion. Cards like Sink Below are better at the end of the game normally than they are at the beginning, because you do not have life as a resource, and at the beginning of the game, life is more of a resource you can give up and use. So I think that them discarding Ripple Away here is actually quite okay for us. I am not on Amnesia, but I could be talked into playing Amnesia over like Strength Rules All or something like that. But then again, I go back to my worry of like how many cards are we cutting Blood Rush value on. Censor is very good into Zen. I think Censor is amazing into the mirror, and it's very good into any of the ninjas right now. That is wholeheartedly how I feel about that. Let's go E-strike. If we draw into a blue, it feels real bad. I think like the best way I heard somebody describe E-strike and KO is that we're a damage deck. We want to race. So we pretty much always choose the buff here, which makes a lot of sense. What are your top calls for Censor? So Art of War is at the top of the list. Blood Rush Bellow is at the top of the list. Like, it really depends on the matchup. But against like another brute, I'm almost like 100% naming Blood Rush Bellow, unless they've played their hand in a way that makes me suspicious of like what they're actually up to in like what their turn could look like in a different way. I am also Art of War and Blood Rush Bellow is probably at the top of the list. Oof, I didn't think of the additional Zen tech. No more kitties. What are you talking about? What do you mean, Trent, when you say that? So we have a couple of options here. We could roll to see what we hit, and then it could be E-strike draw card. If we roll like a 5 or a 6 here. I think I want to roll considering we have the gloves. Like, back-to-back rolls make me feel pretty safe on what we're doing here. So rolling a 4 means we're going to go Assault and Battery, and then we're going to name Draw Card so that we can see an extra card here. And if we happen to draw into like a Wild Ride, then we have a lot of value out of cracking the Sash and playing Wild Ride and then throwing the Claw. So we saw exactly something that we wanted to see here to be able to try and apply a good amount of pressure. I mean, you can say Censor and name Crouching Tigers. Like, I also think that you can say Censor and name, like, Art of War or Ancestral Harmony. Probably Art of War more often than not. There's a lot of good cards that you can name to get the value that you're looking for out of that. But naming Crouching Tiger is definitely, like, a solid option. Discarding another Wild Ride to make a Might. I mean, I guess we didn't need to crack the Sash here, but cracking the Sash does give me the ability to actually throw the Assault and Battery. So we should get the value out of this while we can, because this is 5 versus 3, and I think we're better off pushing damage as opposed to trying to set up an arsenal here when it's a blue Assault and Battery. If this is a swing big, I'm throwing it regardless. It would have been ideal if we could have like ran and hit into like a roughshod, because we could have went claw into roughshod for free, which would have been insane value for us. Play the Passover, so on their turn they're going to be activating Enigma, and their turn is going to be activate Enigma, attack, and then possibly put in another. Okay, no, they're just going to play a Waxing Spectre. I'm not really interested. I think I'm just going to go to 8. Hey, Caleb, what's up, dude? How are you, brother? You doing all right tonight, man? So I can discard the Agile Windup here and then throw Roughshod, which is a 9-point turn, forcing a minimum of like 1 card out of my opponent's hand. If they want to play Protect the Board, then we'll probably get multiple cards here. Depends on their D-React hand and like how it looks, like the blocking efficiency of their hand. We also have the ability to discard the Windup and throw the Pack Hunt if we want to like force damage and clear the board here. It really just depends on what we're looking at. I say the idea of discarding the Windup to discarding the Windup and then throwing Roughshod, because we get to Arsenal the Pack Hunt. And if we have an Agility and a Pack Hunt, we're in an insanely good spot. And we've also only seen 1 Blood Rush Bellow to this point, which I think does give us a lot of value here. Took the fastest nap known to man. Bro, what does that even mean? What did you nap in? Like, what did you take, like a 30-second nap, bro? What does that mean? You've got me, like... As someone who is a firm believer that napping for 2 hours is the only way to take a nap, I'm curious to know what you mean by this. You have my attention. All right, so the Roughshod forces some cards here and some decision points. So I think knowing how they've played their hand out, we are better off to play the Roughshod and Arsenal the Pack Hunt, setting up for a more explosive Agility and Might turn. Now, depending on how they played their hand would have told me a lot about that, but I think this is okay. They take 0 damage, but they do give up the Coalescence. I mean, I kind of want to block with the Riled Up, to be honest. Let's block with the Wrecker Romp, right? I mean, hang on. Let's think about this for a minute. Is there any world where I have what I want left at the end of the turn? No, we're just supposed to block and save life. This is a save life hand because it works. This hand works. We don't need to get fancy with it. We don't need to do anything crazy. We have pretty, like, I'm going to say pretty much guaranteed go again, because our deck is set up in a way that guarantees we're going to hit a 6 off the top. But there's obviously, you know, there's no guarantee there. There's nothing that we could do. The only thing we could do to really try and like guarantee that we're going to hit and that we can have go again no matter what is if we roll. And if we roll, we're hoping to not hit double ones there. So I think we've only seen 1 Blood Rush, which is quite frightening. But the only misses in our deck are Reckless Swings and Blood Rush, and we just pitched a Reckless. And I don't think we've seen another one this game. Normally those are some of the cards that like stay in my head throughout the course of the game, but and let the Waxing Spectre go here. Yep. So you're just gonna let the Waxing Spectre go, and we are gonna throw the Wild Ride. We hit a Mighty Windup. That is okay. Discarding one of our blues is great. So this is 6 go again, followed by Claw. We are forcing lethal right here. They technically have 1 card they're going to get back going into their next turn to give them like some offensive power play here for what they're looking to accomplish this turn. Over me. Maybe this is an unmovable. Maybe they've had an unmovable for a minute. I don't know. Hold the line, which only blocks 2 here. You love to see that, to be honest. They've gotten major value out of their hold the lines over the course of the last game and this game to this point. So to see one only be for 2 is kind of nice. If I'm being real. Gonna refresh. Maybe it's me. I was like, maybe I'm lagging. Okay, so they're looking to just get value out of the Sacred Art here and have a chi. So a pretty awkward hand for blocking there, all things considered. I mean, they gave us, what, 1 card in Tunic and then gave up the Ward 3 on the board. Now they're giving us a 2 block from Arsenal and they're playing the Sacred Art. So they have a chi in their hand plus an unknown card, which means we probably took a card that blocks 3 if I had to guess. Might be an aggressive card. It could be... Our opponent asked if they could undo, and then apologized. So, which they want to filter, I think, which makes a lot of sense. They want to filter to see if they can find a 3 block, maybe. But they're already in reactions, so I don't know what they're looking to accomplish with that. I don't know. That's an interesting choice. I'd be curious to know why they wanted to make that play. I mean, I guess they can block on the claw. They said they're thinking. So maybe they're looking to put their Sacred Art on the bottom so that they can actually draw into like a 3 block to block the claw here. Because currently they're only blocking for 2. Activate Enigma means you're blocking for 3, fall to 3. You are staying out of range of Reckless, although I do have to say Enigma is one of those decks where Reckless generally won't help you in the game because they have auras in play that protect them from anything they're trying to accomplish. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually take nothing because of the ward from the Meridian Pathway. And then I'm curious to know if they're going to go to 3 here or if they did sync their Sacred Art to look for something else. Okay, it appears... I don't know. It appears they didn't, but it's also hard to tell what they could have been thinking right there. Waxing Spectre. I mean, this hand's pretty solid. Probably so they can pitch for a chi for their boots, but they had a chi, right? Like, the Sacred Art was just a better play, right? So, the Sacred Art as opposed to that, like, if they pitch that to... They make 2 more Spectral Shields, and then they can activate Enigma and actually just save more life. They get to stay at 6 that turn. So, I mean, I could be missing something, but I don't see how that's better because they still get to turn on boots with the first line there. I assumed that they were syncing looking for a 3 block and then they found Manifestation Amiria guy and they just ended up being in the same spot that they were in. But I don't know, it's hard to tell. Oh, they get to have a chi and then they get to keep a blue this way if they hit into a blue to play the Waxing Spectre. That actually makes a lot of sense. We'll discard the Agile Windup. We're going to hope we hit into a blue. I mean... So that is the... There's 1 more Blood Rush in the deck. So I think we are 100% better to go Claw into Pack Hunt here. I understand that pulping potentially just wins the game on the spot with Dominate based off of the way the hand can be played out, but I think we're better off to go Pack Hunt here because it takes a card and it's also for 8. So I don't know. It's an interesting decision point there. That's also the first time in 2 games we've seen them play Dissolve Reality. Yo, Liam, what's up, dude? Liam with that big hydrate. Let's go. Let's get through this turn, and I got you with that big hydrate, fam. We're gonna get through this turn first, though. Right now, over me. I don't know. Our opponents, all right. They block 6, which I think is the correct play, and we're gonna come in with a Pack Hunt, knowing that pulping does not win the game one way or another. This is 8, and I think we get more potential value out of this hand, out of this play here. And if they don't have, if we intimidated their only card that blocks, then we do win on the spot. But we did not. They have a sink below. Take 1, go to 2, and lose their thing. Dissolve into Azalea is nasty. I saw Noah playing Dissolve into you know, Kano on stream, and it was really good. Part of me wants to roll, but I think it's technically incorrect because this has to be a D-React, and we've already seen 3 Sink Belows. We've seen 3 Sink Belows, 2 Hold the Lines, and a red unmovable. So, I mean, I guess like that could be a Hold the Line or something to stop this, but I don't think I'm supposed to roll here. I mean, with gloves, I'm probably not rolling as much as I should be. I can probably be a little bit more liberal with how often I'm rolling here. I don't know. That's an interesting decision point. I think I can probably afford to be a little bit more liberal with how I'm rolling here. The way they're playing to turnout is telling me that they probably don't have a D-React here to stop this up. At least that's what it tells me off the top of my head here, is that there is not... Probably not a D-React, and my opponent said they're thinking, and then they just said good game. Oh, okay. So they block with a card. They were at 3, right? Or no, I'm sorry, they were at 2. So they block with a card, ward 2, take 2 and die. So they were just dead there no matter what. And then following that, we had the Bear Fangs coming up. What do they have in Arsenal? Does it show us? A Haze Bending? Okay, I mean, all of that makes sense. All of that makes sense. All right, 2 and 1 so far. The night's looking good. We got a big hydrate for Liam before we play another one here. Oh boy. Sure, it's been a minute since I've done those. All right, we're going to take a small break. I'm going to run and get some more water, use the bathroom, and when I come back, we'll be playing more KO. Thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. Okay, short break, and we're back. Let's get back into it. We're 2-1 tonight. Night's looking good so far. All right. Guys, appreciate y'all being here and hanging out with us tonight. Always enjoy streaming and hanging out. Oh, here we go. We were just getting to talk about Prism. This is a matchup where I think I want to go second. Like, most of the time, Prism's not really looking to, like, put a lot of auras into play against us, so I'm a pretty big fan of going second. Like, they're mostly trying to, like, race us and play a lot of aggro, but if they do get to put some auras into play, then we kind of just have to deal with it as it comes through. Wild Ride, I don't know. We don't want too many 2-blocks. Clash of Agility could be good. I like Strength Rules All, just mostly as poppers, but I think they also have like good text box in this matchup. Wild Ride is an interesting one because Go Again is important, but we also want as few no blocks as we can get, so I think we're going to run it like this and just play the 61 card special here. KO is still pretty insane. Yeah, Francisco, KO does a lot of bonkers stuff, and I think people have just kind of forgotten that, to be honest. Like, you know, it's like, honestly, like, I don't know. Like, there's just a lot of very strong things that... Actually, would I rather block with the swing big here? Would I rather block like this and then try to pitch the agile windup here? Because we still have a popper in hand, right? Are you liking Strength Rules All over Sin Packing? Yeah, I'm going to be honest, Zach. Love the name, by the way. Big fan of the name Zach. I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to be honest, like, Sin Packing has just not felt like it to me. Like, Justin and I, Justin's in the chat, we've been chatting about that. I've been talking about that with the team and some people, and like, it just feels, I don't know. It just does not feel that strong to me. Like, it just doesn't feel that good. I'm not a huge fan of it. Feels really awkward. Like, Sin Packing has been very medium. And Censor's kind of like replaced its slot into the aggro matchups that I want it for specifically. Now, Strength Rules All, probably not doing too much in this matchup, but... So, again, I think this is a pretty good claw into Roughshod here, discarding the Mighty Windup for next turn. We also have the ability to just go... I mean, I kind of want to Arsenal this card, right? So we'll come in for 3, go again with the claw, discarding the windup, and then we'll play the Roughshod here. We'll go ahead and do this now. Create 2 might tokens, come in with the Roughshod, and we'll set up a Strength Rules All in Arsenal. I think that has a lot of value for us, and we're able to put on 8 points of pressure, set up a little bit, and Arsenal here. So the 3 cost is rough, I agree. When do you bring in Censor? Stolzer, I really like Censor in the mirror, and I really like it against ninjas. Anything that like has like one key card they're trying to use to really fuel their aggro plan. I think Censor is what I would call the bomb.com in those matchups. So let's try to use this Wild Ride, right? Like, let's block here, here, and here, and let's just take a card out of their hand. Okay, I mean, that's fine. It's definitely not ideal for us, but we didn't have a popper, so I think that's okay. They get to put in an angel, which is a little obnoxious, but it's okay. I try to play around them having the angel if I can help it, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers and all that. You guys know how the saying goes. Y'all know what's up. So let's go Wild Ride. We'll pitch the Mighty Windup here. So we discard the Runner, which is pretty solid, all things considered. 8 go again into Claw and Strength Rules All, which is a pretty solid turn and allows us to put on quite a bit of pressure here. Now, the one thing about this matchup as opposed to Enigma is you have to be a little careful. Like, you can get got by Arclight Sentinel on this matchup. Now, with Gambler's Gloves and Scabskin Leathers, it is tougher to get got, so to speak. But you still have to be careful, and I think you still have to respect what Arclight Sentinel can do to you if it catches you at the right or wrong turn. So just being a little careful and a little weary of how you play through things is very important. And we've established a pretty decent life lead. Now we just have to make sure that we try to keep up with it. What are we looking to accomplish with this hand? We don't have a popper since they coming in with a triumph here. I'm going to let them know that we are thinking. I'm not super interested in giving up my scabs here just because of... I don't really want to give up scabs here just because I want to be able to protect against a... let's say Herald of whatever the dominate Herald is that draw cards. Hey, Sigma, what's up? You get Strength Rules All with Go Again and hit, you can play the Censor and try to block their arsenal to be played. There's also a lot of value there. That's very true. Yeah, like that's Strength Rules All and Censor play very well together. How are you, Sigma? You doing okay? Maybe since they're running Goliath Gauntlet, I'm just supposed to like not really respect what they're up to in that sense of what we're trying to do here. So let's block like this. And then we'll go Clash of Agility for 7. And then realizing that they'd have to have a pretty bonkers turn to really... I mean, I don't know. I say that like it's Prism. They can always do anything. The more turns they're giving me Soul Shield, the better off I feel about this game, to be entirely honest with you guys. We have yet to see a Blood Rush. We still have yet to see a Blood Rush. Now, this hand doesn't block particularly well. If they have another Herald of Triumph, it is a little awkward. Let's go Pack Hunt. Let's just pop this. I think this is okay. I'm okay just popping this and setting up this way. Was checking out your stream since I was curious from your YouTube preview banner. Oh yeah, dude. Well, I appreciate you coming by and hanging out, man. I'm definitely locked in for KO for Nationals, and we're doing some last minute testing here to practice for this weekend. Leaving day after tomorrow. Let's just throw the Bear Fangs and try to Arsenal the Pulping. We could just go Pulping into Claw potential. Well, not potentially. We could go Pulping into Claw here, almost guaranteed. But I think this is okay. We're putting our opponent pretty low. We could Arsenal the Pack Hunt. And they're going to flash in a Merciful Retribution. Could have done that on your turn, but sure. What the heck? I thought you were going Levia. Oh, laugh it up, Sigma. Laugh it up. Oh, Ethan's a good teacher, but I don't know about that, fam. So I'm going to bank that he doesn't have it. And based off the fact that we got this far, I would dare say that I was right. So we're going to go Claw into the Pack Hunt, pitching Wild Ride and Arsenal this Blood Rush, just solely because I think we want to be applying pressure. And I'm not super worried about the Merciful Retribution, honestly. I don't know. That could be the wrong decision, but I think playing more offense here off the Blood Rush is the most correct play. And this hand didn't honestly turn out too bad considering how the turn started with triple red Blood Rush. Played Relia 2 years ago, 8 months in a row before Dusk Till Dawn. Oh, wow. Got laid in. Is this your list? Yeah, if you hit exclamation point deck, this is like my list that I've been working on and testing a little bit. Did start with a list that my buddy gave me a few weeks ago, but since have transitioned into playing my own. This is tough because even if we give a popper, they're still going to get an angel, but I think we're supposed to pop this. I don't think there's a world where we're not going to pop this, so we're just supposed to give a popper here. They did not pitch a blue to activate Halo of Illumination to end up going and getting a Figment of -1. Triumph, I think is what it's called. I can't remember off the top of my head, in all honesty. Was that a Erudition to get a Ponder here? So I go to 35 off the Aura popping for Merciful. And then I still think we're supposed to play the Blood Rush here, in all honesty. They flash in an Arclight. They flash in an Arclight. So we're going to throw Claw. That's happening no matter what. Claw is coming in for 6 regardless. And then I think after this, we're going to roll and decide if we want to crack Savage Sash here. Like we're gonna play it out and see what happens. We could also just take the chance that us throwing 10 could potentially kill them, but I don't think so. I think we want to roll here. Yeah, we're definitely going to break Gambler's Gloves. I mean, hitting a 2 is better than hitting a 1. So we're going to throw a 10 at them. Now for the rest of the game, we do have to be a little bit more cautious at how we roll and determined to try to get back into this game. Okay, they just had nothing to do there. Good game. I don't think they were dead. They were at 2, right? They were at 2. This is for 10. Pitch this to flip 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, maybe that was game. I guess that was it. They couldn't do anything there. Either way, I kind of feel like that's how most of the Prism games have felt for me when I'm really like when we're like really like playing against like Prism. Like it's just how most games have felt. Now, to be fair, I don't think that my opponent like fully understood their role in the matchup because they never used Halo of Illumination. Could be wrong. They could have been a very good Prism player that never had the hands work out for them, but they never really used Halo of Illumination. And I think that at the end of the game, if you have some equipment left, it means that you either won by a truckload or you were in a spot where you were like you didn't play correctly, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of my 2 cents there. I believe if you like playing her, you'll be rewarded in redeemed era. If you put reps in, picking up a good list is 20% the work. Are you talking about Leviah? Yeah, dude. I think that Leviah is probably one of the strongest decks in the metagame right now, in all honesty. Think she just like there's a lot of I don't know, like there's a lot of things I don't know about Leviah, and there's not enough time for me to learn that for nationals, but I do think that she is pretty good for sure. Clash of Agility, Wild Ride. We don't want smashing performance, and I don't think we want sensors here. I think we're looking to try and use the ability of Blood Rush Bellow to try and propel us forward and push us into the driver's seat here. This is 100% a Tunic matchup through and through. And we're just going to attack for 6 and force them to decide which card they want to keep in their hand here. I'm excited to play against Azuri, though. I haven't played against Azuri in a while, and I haven't played against Azuri playing KO probably ever, so as soon as they picked War for the first Figment, it was clear they didn't know the matchup. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Sam. That's fair. I saw that T tweeted the other day. He said, if you're playing Prismatic Leyline, just cut it from your deck. It's bad. Which I'm not going to lie. I really have yet to like see that card do anything crazy in CC. But when people say stuff like that, it always makes me think, like, why? Why are you telling me that? Like, why are you trying to get me to not play this card? I don't know. Ceiling is super high. Floor can be pretty dang low, though. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that's ultimately the biggest pitfall of Leviah is you just never know, right? Like, you never know. So let's block Strength Rules All. No, I'm sorry. Do I want to do that, or do I just want to throw the Command and Conquer? So I could block... There's no world I'm just supposed to take 7 here, I don't think. I don't think that's ever correct, but I think we're going to. E-Strike to put Strength Rules All on the bottom, and then Roughshod for Command and Conquer to try and, like, buy us enough tempo to really get into the game here, to put ourselves, like, in a potential driver's seat to give us tempo going into the next turn. Now, if we don't draw something to, like, really push a lot of tempo, then it's not that great, but... What benefit is there except for yourself to make someone not play a card? The majority of the top teams aren't looking at her. I feel like she's middle of the road. There's also been little conversion. Ninja with Lynx is the only way to use that card well. Oh, you're talking about Prismatic Leyline? Yeah, I do agree with that. That makes a lot of sense. That, like, a Ninja with Lynx can get a lot of value out of that card to, like, utilize the yellow situation that you get from that. That makes a lot of sense to me, as far as, like, looking at that. I mean, Riku, I'm not saying that people are, like, actually being, like, it's just my cynical side coming out a little bit, because I don't think that people are actually, like, trying to get me to not play cards necessarily. I just can't help that, like, my brain kind of, like, defaults that way, that I'm thinking... why are you telling me publicly not to play this card? Like, I just can't help it. T's a super nice guy. I've never seen T do anything malicious to anybody. I know him from Magic back in the day. He used to play Magic for the Star City Games circuit. He's a super nice guy. Like, T is not a malicious person. He probably meant that in like the most wholehearted way. This card is bad, don't play it. But man, I can't help it. I just got baited by a Sigil of Solace. Boo. Don't like to see that. Vanilla damage, no blocks. I think against Azuri, a lot of times you can make that decision. Like, I think a lot of times against Azuri, you can make that decipher. I'm just going to block 3 and see what they do. Command and Conquer to get my arsenal. Unfortunate. Reverse Knick-Knack Bric-a-Brac. It's an obvious psyop. Leyline trigger on a switch, though. So blue isolate, switch to CNC, make it 7. That could work that way. I am definitely playing Levia in the 0-3 when I 0-3 my Nats draft. Dude, Billy, I love that, bro. You're a phenomenal Levia player, so you should definitely play Levia. Like, I am all for that. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that we don't have like an extra card. Like we rolled a 6 and we don't have the value to be able to get off of the extra pack hunt in our arsenal. But I think that's okay. Just being able to, you know, throw 9 here with the Intimidate to like kind of force their hand a little bit is okay. And maybe this is a world where I'm okay arsenaling this turn, but I doubt it. Blue Riled Up or Smash Instinct is not where I want to be arsenaling. What's on the pro circuit? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Segi. I don't think it works on a Switch if you aren't technically playing the Switch card. Levi can win any matchup, but somehow none of them feel comfortable right now except maybe Victor. So the funny part is, like, I actually thought that, like, Victor had a pretty decent Levi matchup until, like, Mansant just wholeheartedly, like, schooled me on that one night. We played a game, and, like, after that, I've, like, been in the boat that, like, Victor is not favored into Levia in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So I really don't want to give them an extra card here, but I don't want to block with anything either. Yeah, I don't know. This is an interesting decision point. Like, I don't really want to give up my equipment here. Not very interested in giving up my equipment. There's no arsenal, so it's just a card off the top of my deck, which is very, like, mid. I don't like that. We've also not had any good ways at really setting up might tokens this game, so this has been like a very lackluster start. I'm gonna throw the Command and Conquer and then discard the Agile Windup here. What's your go-to order at Arby's? Bro, I feel like I'm missing an entire conversation over here. Big Bacon Classic? I've never had a Big Bacon Classic, but I think I like bacon, so there's that. Not having time to pick her up in the variants and the hardships, I would play Ryan or even KO for that style. So wholeheartedly, that's why I'm playing KO because, one, there's no world I was going to take the time to pick up Levia, and also, like, two, I again, going back to kind of what we were talking about earlier, and people maybe here that weren't earlier, so I'm going to talk about it again, that the concept of the fact that KO has a better Prism spread than Ninja does makes me want to play KO more. Why not Claw and CNC? Oh, we should have there. I was talking and not paying attention. 100% should have used Tunic there. Good catch, Robert. Yeah, that's just like I was talking and not thinking. We could have definitely done everything right there, and we should have. This is 6 damage, and we have a really solid turn to like play and make our hand good with an agility. This is no blocks all the way. Please love yourself. Play anything else. So Doubt is also in the camp that Prismatic Leyline is not good. Okay, so Claw for... No, I'm sorry. Are we supposed to use the agility here? I mean, the agility just probably doesn't matter, right? So let's think about this for a second. I'm going to let my opponent know we're thinking. Claw for 6, Wild Ride for 8, pitching the Agile Windup. Hopefully draw and discard another card. Tunic into Pulping for 8. theoretically, right? That's like theoretically what we're looking at here. Oh, I just realized that my opponent's name is in sync, like, and so that's probably what Segi was talking about earlier. If I go Wild Ride, I take a potential of drawing into a red and discarding my blue, and then I'm in a worse spot. So I think we're supposed to, like, quote unquote, waste the agility token, even though we're not, because both of our cards have go again. What is there, hair on my glasses? I hate when that happens. Were you considering Azalea at one point? I might play it and just try to dodge Guardian and Prism. I wholeheartedly was. Wholeheartedly, I think that Azalea has a great place in the metagame. Right? Wow, that is so unfortunate. Man. Ripsies all the way home. Yeah. No, I definitely was considering playing Levia at one point. Levia... Or not Levi, I'm sorry, Azalea. I was wholeheartedly considering playing Azalea. And honestly, until a few days ago, was still thinking about it because Azalea is a very solid deck in the meta. And, like, she does a lot of great things. And she has a good Enigma matchup, or, you know, like a favorite Enigma matchup. So I'm interested in playing her. We are down to 1 Blood Rush Bellow, which is a little unfortunate. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Yo, Doubt with that follow on Twitch, dude. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. I know you hang out on YouTube quite a bit, so I appreciate the follow over on Twitch. Appreciate that a whole bunch. Yo, Saggy also with the follow on Twitch, dude. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. That means a whole bunch. For anybody who doesn't know, if you're here for the first time, we got 3 questions we ask everybody. What's your name? What got you into Flesh and Blood? And what are your favorite hot dog toppings? If you live in a part of the world where you don't eat hot dogs, let me know what kind of food you do like. I'd love to get to know a little bit more about you. I don't know if this is the most correct play, but I think this gives us value off of all of our equipment here. And they kept the cut to the chase. If they had double cut to the chase, that's unfortunate. So they're going to take our blue, and then we're going to pitch 2 cards to play the pulping. Yeah, we gave up our flesh bag, and they got to keep their card, which is very unfortunate for us. I mean, I guess technically I could have just played the Reckless Swing there before it hit. That probably would have been a better play. If I play the Reckless Swing, discard one of these, use Tunic and a card to come in with pulping. That seems okay, right? I think that's probably just a quote-unquote better play there. Come in for 10 here. I am definitely playing KO for Nats. Yes, Ember, absolutely. Following on Twitch with my phone, I primarily use on YouTube because I watch from work. Oh, I got you, man. I got you. Isn't sharing too much? Were you all trying to fit Battering Bolt in your list? It feels so good into the MST heroes, but needs more blues. We had never really considered Battering Bolt. Like, normally when I look at cards like that, it's strictly from a, like, you know, what, like, how good of a popper is this? And I hadn't really we hadn't really considered that, in all honesty. But it's definitely not a bad card, because I think you're right. I think it does have a lot of play into a lot of the heroes in Mist. So, I mean, dude, Battering Bolt could actually be really good with Azalea. And Battering Bolt in certain matchups with Dreadbore could actually be insane as well. Just like being able to like pitch a blue if you had access to more resources in the deck, which obviously, like the way the deck is currently set up and the way that most people have configured their list, you don't have that many resources. So I think this is just a block with the agility. They probably don't have a follow-up for this. At least I'm guessing they don't have a follow-up. If they do, we get really punished here. I mean, again, this is 5 and a card. Like, I don't know that I entirely care about this. Especially when they don't have an arsenal. I actually feel a lot better about this play, I think. So we get to go 5 going in, putting the Agile Windup on the bottom, then play Pulping. And we have a red to throw Claw no matter what. So it ends up being a 6-12 12, 15 point turn here off the back of being down 11 points, but we still have some decent equipment to block with. Is there a better line here that we could have? There is the line of throw claw, and then you strike for 7. So it's 11 versus the 15 that I've come up with here. I think this is just a better play that we're looking at. We're still in a spot where it's better to play the pulping as opposed to playing the E-Strike here. Yeah, having the agility like sets us up pretty well, I think. Codex is a card that we should probably be actively playing around. We've went quite a ways here. Now, having Inertia Trap and a Codex is like kind of a wombo combo there. Would have liked to have discarded that Beast Within. If we discarded Beast Within, we would have been in a spot where we could have went E-Strike for 7 at the end of this, which would have been crazy value. So we put our opponent down to 16, and they have access to 2 cards left after this. I imagine one of them's a Codex. Now, this is, I'm going to be honest with you guys, what I'm about to tell you is a very poor way of thinking. The last like week and a half when I've been playing Talashar's RNG has been putting 2 Codexes in my opponent's hand. Now, there is like no way to like that's just a gut feeling that's been happening to me recently. And so I think me thinking and playing that way is incorrect, but let's block like this. Let's make the swing big for 10. And then we'll discard the agile windup. And if they want to play like a cut to the chase or like some kind of random buff here, like deal. Also, if they decide to give us a shred, it doesn't matter right here. Does your group have an Enigma player for this weekend? I have a few locals going to Nats, but I think they'll be on Zen, Victor, Azalea, and Levia. I'm the only Enigma player locally right now. So from a local point of view, we definitely have people that are like playing Enigma. And I tested Enigma, you know, quite a bit for about a week when she came out, a week, maybe 2 weeks, their doubt. But there's nobody like from our area going to nationals that's playing Enigma that I'm aware of. No, I honestly doubt. I loved Enigma. She felt great. She was very solid. Like, she had a lot of good game plan. Like, she was a great hero in every facet of the sense. Like, I wasn't, I don't know, like she was a great hero in every sense of the term. I don't know. I just felt better doing something else, I guess, which feels weird. I don't know. It feels like a weird thing to say. Okay, so we have Black Tech Whisperers, Flick Knives, and we have Whisperers, Flick Knives, and a potential card from hand. Now, Cut to the Chase is contract only, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, contract cards. So I guess it depends on like what they have here. Hang on one second. Sorry, I'm not ignoring you, Henrique. I'm going to try and get through this turn here real quick. So if I block with Swing Big and Scabs, I'm blocking 5, which I think is more than enough. I could be wrong. I have been wrong before. There are lots of times I am wrong about this math when I'm blocking. Azuri does present me with a new question for blocking bonds there, and it's like, where is the cutoff point? Because we know that New plays a lot of the buffs to try and get a lot of value out of them. So that's interesting to me. We're going to make an agility with the runner. Come in for 7, go again. What about New? Do you think she has a good place in the meta? Yeah, honestly, Henrique, I think that New has a great place in the metagame. She does really well into decks like Victor. I think she even has like a weird, a weird line with Levia where she, you know, kind of like abuses Levia's ability to her own advantage some. Any of the bigger, slower decks, like I think she has a very close KO matchup as well. I'm not going to say it's favored, but I think it's very close. I think she can bully some of the more aggressive style decks. I also think she can bully some like Azalea like style decks, because like Azalea has to like race you or not, and that's really like where Azalea gets a lot of her value. And so forcing Azalea to say no blocks the entire game can be a little awkward sometimes. So I don't know. If I was going, I'd be in a toss-up between New and Enigma, but I didn't qualify. I wasn't able to go this time around anyways. I mean, it's fair doubt. I get that. New can beat Zen. Yeah, I mean, like, definitely can, like, beat Zen. Like, I'm not, like, by no means am I saying that, like, New can't beat Zen. I just think that the Ninja, like, the Katsu and, we're just blocking with cast bones here. I think that... I don't know. I think that Ninja has a lot of strong points into certain matchups currently. So, you ever play Blitz? So Potassium, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Blitz as a whole. The format in general is kind of like what I would call high rolly, and it makes me like just not that happy to play, in all honesty. But there are times when I do play that I play Blitz when skirmish season rolls around, which generally happens like twice a year, I've noticed. I'm a pretty big fan of playing Blitz during that time to play heroes and test it out, because I think it makes for fun streams. The one thing that I do enjoy about Blitz is that the games go so fast is that I can generally like stream 2 heroes in a night to like figure out what I want to do. Also, like, I don't take skirmish season very competitively. Like, not that there's anything wrong with going to a lot of skirmishes. It's just not my thing. I'm not a big fan of Blitz. I think Blitz is a phenomenal way for people to get into the game and to like learn the concepts and to get into the game on a like budget level like style of the game. Blitz is also like very convenient. Like, if you, a lot of people I know play on their phone. So if you're someone who likes Blitz and like you get a lunch break for, you know, an hour at your job, it's like, oh, well, take a break and play a couple games of Blitz on your phone, you know, have a sandwich and play some Blitz. Like, it's a lot of fun. And it's also a very good way to like buy some Blitz starter decks and get into the game with your friends. Hey, Mello, what's up, dude? How are you? No, Ahmad, we're probably not playing, and by probably, I mean, no, I'm not playing Leviathan for Nationals. It was fun to like, you know, hang out with Ethan and play the game with him the other night. Ethan's a really fun guy to be around, and he's really cool. So I enjoyed that quite a bit, but I'm definitely not going to be on Leviathan for Nationals. Too complicated, not enough time, and I think I prefer the game plan of KO more. My dash deck and I are hurt. Trent, I have to say, playing your dash deck was some of the most fun I've had in a while playing that hero, like, or playing Blitz in general, because like that deck was a lot of fun and really cool that you put together. I wholeheartedly think that my opponent should have blocked and played Codex here. Was like just entirely wrong to not play the Codex here. Like, why not block, stay at 5, and then play the Codex to get value off of having an Arsenal? I didn't Arsenal a card, so I think this play is just like objectively wrong. I don't think me going to 4 is correct either, even though I do have a good hand. I think we're just going to block 3 and take 3 here. Like, there's no black tech incoming. We know that there's nothing scary coming after this. KO smash. Absolutely, Ahmad. That's my kind of stuff right there. Yeah. I haven't played a really strong aggro deck in a while. You know, I played a lot of Victor for a hot minute, and so I haven't really had a chance to play what I would call like a, you know, like oops, I win the game aggro deck. And I think that ooh, there goes the police. But yeah, I mean, like, I just think playing an aggro deck that can like really put your opponents in a hurt locker is a lot of fun, and it's been a while since I've done that, really, since Fi was, you know, like insanely strong. So let's discard this to make an agility and then play Cast Bones. Like, I mean, I don't really want to Arsenal the blue, so and then I did hit all 6s. We have 1 blue and 2 yellows. And we hit our 1 blue. Man, you love to see it. You love to see it. We might block with a Clash of Agility here just to, like, meme. So now we need to evaluate what our opponent has here, because our hand is very good, but Shakedown is all gone out of the deck. The other card that we need to be concerned about is, we're going to tell our opponent that we're thinking is Surgical Extraction. I can see 2 looking at the stack here. There is 1 Surgical Extraction left in the deck. I'm going to be honest, talking to you guys, I haven't really paid attention to their pitch stack too much. My initial thought is that we give them Clash of Agility and Scabs to play around Surgical. I think that's what we're going to do here. Yeah, any 6 kills with Flick Knives, so we have to block. Like, they have, like, immediate lethal on the stack. And I think they're playing to their out. We're going to Snipping Tool this. We're going to Snipping Tool the... We're just going to name that Nats Testing, and we're just going to put that up on Twitter later. That'll be fun. But yeah, like, if they had anything to put into play, like, that's okay. And if not, our runner is going to be for 13, followed by Tunic into Wild Ride, which I don't know how our opponent stops that. Leave No Witnesses is also really good, but I was less concerned about Leave No Witnesses than cards that disrupted my hand because we had no arsenal. I think with that in mind, I was okay taking a Leave No Witnesses. There's the last Surgical. So they block this out, and then it's probably better to just set this up, right? Because this technically, I mean, this is lethal even if they have a Sink Below, right? No, this is only 5 if they have a Sink Below, so it is better to do this. If they don't have a D-React, they're dead. If they do have a D-React, they're staying at 2 as opposed to 1, and I'm setting myself up for a go again, a guaranteed go again turn next hand, which I think is better. Hey, that was cool. My opponent said good game, big fan. That was nice of them. Man, we threatened 127 damage across 12 turns, and we had an AVPT of 14.73 over 12 turns, which I think is crazy. We only played 2 Blood Rushes. We did discard 1, which was not a good start for us. And then that Cast Bones had insane value towards the end of the game, which I think was really solid at the end there. Put us in a good situation. So 4-1. I mean, deck's feeling pretty comfortable tonight. Like, I'm feeling pretty good about where we're at right now. Let's see here. I gotta get the deck link again. I guess I copied something else. I don't know what else I copied, but you know. It do be like that sometimes. Mama said there would be days like this. Again, against Enigma, I'm currently still living in the boat that we want to go second. I'm not wholeheartedly sold that that is correct, but I do think that's where we want to be. Against Enigma, we want to bring in Wild Ride. We want to bring in... no, we don't care about that. I'm sorry. We want Clash of Agility, and we want Wild Ride. This is Go Again, and this is Go Again. And also, like, this is randomly a popper if it ever needs to be. Like, could be super relevant, but it hasn't been so far. And we're just going to play the 61 card special here. I don't think there's anything wrong with playing 1 extra card. And the concession of playing Gambler's Gloves is the fact that sometimes you just need extra action points when you don't have Go Again. So, no Cast Bones. In this matchup, I'm not a fan of it, Mello. It's a turn off. I am a firm believer that against Illusionist, you do not want any off turns. I understand why that card looks appealing, and I'm not going to say that people are wrong for playing it, but I am not a fan, to be honest. Not a fan, to be honest. For this round, I'm rooting for Enigma. I'll try not to have my feelings hurt, Ahmad. Are you locked on KO for Nats? Yes, Zim, I am locked on KO for Nats 100%. What was the loss to? We lost to a Zin in the very first round of the stream tonight. Lost to a Zin. It was a really close game that I thought we were going to come out of and win, but we ended up falling just a little short, so... Discard the Pulping there. So we're down 5 points to start the turn, like to start the game, which is a little tough. Not a huge fan of it. We can go E-Strike for 7 and really just push damage and try to just like really push, or just like try to get ahead on life. But I think we're better off to throw the Claw and Arsenal Wild Ride, as Wild Ride sets us up for, we're getting into the habit of arsenaling and setting up 5-card hands every turn, or trying to anyway, as effectively as we can. And we're also looking at, if we draw into a Blood Rush Bellow, we're already one step ahead of trying to put our opponent on the back foot. And once Illusionist is on the back foot against like a very aggressive aggro deck, it can be tough for them to get back into the game. Or if they are going to get back into the game, they have to take a considerable amount of life to do so. And I think that can ultimately be beneficial for us. Let's go E-Strike, then Assault and Battery. So we're 2 cards in the pitch stack, and we have a E-Strike as our first card. Now let's think about this. This feels like a take 4 kind of hand. We could take 4, discard the Agile windup, and then play Runner, and then pitch Pulping into Claw. Maybe I'm supposed to like... we have an Agility, which means maybe I'm just supposed to use this to create a Might. That might actually be more correct, considering we're like at that point where we're going to use the Agility here. Tried to click that a little bit too fast there. Why didn't you full block there since you draw up? No. I had 2 Wild Rides and a Pulping in my hand. All of my cards didn't block, was my problem there, eh? I mean, yeah, almost want to Sash here. Like, I get that. There is, like, some, like, actual argument for, like, using Sash and, like, trying to just get the most value we can out of this hand. Keeping our cards and just, like, trying to, like, play Sash value. We could block with Sash. We could have blocked with Sash there, stay at 33, and then crack Sash to go Runner into the Wild Ride. And then, I don't know. I think it's tempting, but ultimately wrong from what we're looking at. Discard a Swing Big. Forgot KO has a lot of no box. Yeah, no, you're good, eh? Absolutely. I completely understand. Completely understand, buddy. I would have loved to block on turn 0, to be honest, brother. Unfortunately, our hand did not do that. So we're now 4 cards in the pitch stack, and we started with an E-Strike. Yeah, we're just going to take 5 here and try to use the Agility token to E-Strike into a better hand. Thanks for the tournament. Forgot to say it the day of. Dude, Equinox, no apologies necessary, man. I appreciate you coming by and hanging out. I always have a blast running those and doing those and getting to hang out with everybody. I feel like it gives me a chance to really connect with people on a more personal level, so I'm a big fan of it. I appreciate you coming by and chilling with us and playing that day, man. Had a lot of fun. Probably wrong, I'm just greedy. I also get that, Mello. I also get that. So we could roll and try to go Runner into Claw here to like put pressure on. We could also just throw 5 and set up a Might and an Agility for next turn. And since they're keeping all of their cards, try to use Flesh Bag to like get a lot of value here. Discarding the Runner feels almost like always wrong, but I think that if we get to set up a... Oh, nope. If we get to set up a Might and an Agility, I think that it's okay. Considering that we're getting to push at least enough damage that would put us into a situation where we are, quote unquote, winning the game, life total wise. I don't actually mean winning the game because I think it is way too early to determine who is winning this game. Hey, James, what's up, brother? How are you? After this match, can you share a bit of the point of remembering pitch stacks? Because I don't really order the cards when pitching. I just hope to God that the stack is good. I mean, I do get that. I understand. We're now 6 cards in the pitch stack at this point, and we started with an E-Strike. Our first hand is 2 blues, Pulping, and an E-Strike, which is a pretty good 4-card hand. And then we just went E-Strike, putting a blue on the bottom into pitch a blue. So we went 2 blues as cards 5 and 6. But yeah, I'm happy to talk about pitch stacking after this. Yeah, I'm absolutely happy to do that. Okay, that's a really good play, and they get to like stop our value there. We're gonna take 8. I think we're gonna take 8. I'm here. Lol, been a date. I mean, James, I've been there, man. I get that, brother. Get that, brother. Get that. So I'm gonna make like what I would call a pretty excessively greedy play. Here, since we have the agility, I'm gonna crack the sash in the interest of trying to make this hand as like potentially as bonkers as possible. We're gonna pitch the Command and Conquer, hope that we discard the Beast Within, and then from there, oh man, we do. Please hit a blue. Oh no. All right, so this is 9 go again. Oh man, decision time. I mean, looking at this, the true only decision in my opinion is to just throw the Command and Conquer, probably, and then just Arsenal the Wild Ride. But man, it's just unfortunate that we drew a card and then discarded the Beast Within and still didn't hit a blue. That's big sag there, but that's okay. Make 4-card hands, then focus on the next 4. I mean, it's interesting because, like, Ahmad, like, I do think that there is, like, I try to remember all 20 cards if I can, but I try to remember them one hand at a time. Hand 1 is this, hand 2 is this, hand 3 is this, hand 4 is this. It's also weird because I'm playing 61 cards, so it's a little different. Okay, that is a very good turn for our opponent here. Man, considering how this is going for them, I honestly think I'm supposed to pitch Command and Conquer to throw the Wild Ride and hope they draw into a blue or a yellow so that I can throw the Claw afterwards, because this is not going well. And it only takes like one turn of them having the mirror guy into play to really like run away with the game. So we have to be a little careful here. For most, it doesn't really matter. Only people playing for second cycle. I mean, I agree with that. I think it's good practice to always like pretty much be thinking about pitch stack and trying to like play that longer game. But there is definitely a lot of value. Okay. Jesus. So me playing this, like me throwing the Claw actually does nothing. Well, I think that hand really lined up for them. That was a very good defensive hand where they were able to actually put Manifestation of Mirror Guy into play last turn. All right, what are we doing here? I mean, if I throw the Claw, it literally does nothing. So I think I'm just supposed to Arsenal. All right, we have to just like try to keep our hand here, right? Like there's no world we can give up our hand and win this game. I don't think there's probably not much of a chance we can win this game regardless. Yeah, that's tough. I think we're going to have to go to 2. And hope that they follow this up with like an aura. Something pretty lackluster. Not likely. Not likely. We probably lost this game. We're down 19 points. Okay. I mean, listen, that is something. Let's go Wild Ride. Depending on what we're able to keep here, and if we get go again, which statistically is likely, we have some pretty decent capability to try and clear the board this turn, if they don't have anything too crazy here. But if I would make a wager, most games don't make it to turn 13, not a bad habit. Yeah, no, so I mean, I agree, Mello, that like a lot of the games don't make it that far. And there are some decks that shuffle so often it doesn't matter, like Katsu, Zen, Prism is a good example that like pitch stacking doesn't really matter until you're late in the game when you stop searching a lot. But at the same time, like I think it's good practice, but it is definitely true that like again, like KO is a deck that doesn't go to second cycle that often. It's just so aggressive and so like aggro that you don't need to be thinking about your pitch stack all the time. As a Guardian player, I like very actively force myself to think about it a lot, to do anything that I could. So we went cards 7 and 8 last turn, so we're 8 cards in the pitch stack at this point in time. The crazy part is like they can just lose stuff and it doesn't matter because if they have a good hand, they have so much life that they can just like add to the board and put me on the back foot here. So if I'm bad at pitch stacking, just play Mystic Specs and play the shuffle card. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that that's the best advice I would give somebody, Ahmad, but that is one way you could go about it, brother. I mean, James did just say that. I mean, like, yeah, I mean, it's something, I guess. Why Gamblers over Vambrace? I would rather have Gamblers in other matchups, like Prism, for example, and I don't think that you need Vambrace to win this matchup consistently. Now, I know that this game is not a great example of that, but I don't think that you have to have it to win as consistently as people think. Vambrace is a very good card, but I think people are putting Vambrace in too many decks. Like, this is a deck that I think Vambrace would be very good in, but every time I've played Vambrace, it's felt extremely mediocre. It's all about winning the game and having the pressure. So this is going to be cards 9 and 10. We're going to be 10 cards in the pitch stack. And let's see, what did we pitch last turn? 2 reds. So it's E-Strike blue, Pulping blue, and then it's blue into Command and Conquer. And then we're going double blue here, so 10 cards in the pitch stack. It's like a mulligan at Magic, and it's advanced skill that takes you to the next level. I mean, I do agree with you, James. Like, mulliganing was one of the harder parts of the game to figure out, and I think that that's like there is a very serious skill gap that like separates a lot of people. I do agree with that wholeheartedly. Let's block 4. We do not get an agility. Big Sag, big oofskis. Big oofskis. And this is... We're dead? Yeah, I'm actually dead. That's a big Sag. I'm going to go to 1 and then Beast Within's going to kill me. Oh, big Sag. We actually took 2 there because of the Reckless Swing. So, I mean, we played 6 turns, had an AVPT of 13, and we never saw a single Blood Rush. So I think through 6 turns, like I would say that's like, I'm not going to say that's like just a low roll, but that feels like a pretty lackluster draw compared to like 1 Blood Rush at a decent point in that game probably puts us in a pretty good spot. So I don't know. This game, it is pitch stacking and sideboard plan. I agree with that. I do agree with that, James. I think that there is, I think there is a lot of, like, knowing how to pitch stack is very valuable. Counting your pitch stack is the hardest, most skill-intensive part of this game. Keeping up with your opponent's pitch stack, like card for card, is the hardest thing to do, in my opinion. And it's like where you get from good to amazing players. In my humble opinion, that's what I think. But I do agree with that. Good game. I did not expect CNC to kill. Oh, was that you, Sam? Sam, that was a good game, man. You made Enigma look very good that game. I was like when I saw that I had I had a no block, a 3 block, and a 2 block. I realized that the Beast Within was going to kill me. That was normally not a situation I would die in, but hey, it happens, man. The double hold the line on my draw and discard twice turn was really good, man. That was a really solid defensive play and stunted my hand. Also, the fact that I drew like all reds was really awkward, but still the sash like kind of bailed me out in that situation. But yeah, the double hold line was insane there. I bet they were stacked for hands on turn 8 through 9. I mean, we could have checked, but either way. So just Ahmad asked me to here. So let's take 5 minutes and let's talk about pitch stacking here before we play another game of KO. So when we talk about pitch stacking, like the art of pitch stacking is probably one of the hardest things in the game to do because you're trying to focus. Like Flesh and Blood, in my opinion, is like every turn is about minute decisions that gain you points over your opponent. Now, Flesh and Blood, what I'm about to say comes with a disclaimer. Flesh and Blood is a card game. Sometimes you get unlucky and sometimes you lose. If people tell you that you are always losing because it is your own fault, they are just wrong at some point in time. Flesh and Blood is a game that I do think puts you in a position where if you are losing more than you are winning, it is more than likely because you are making mistakes along the way, even if you do not realize it. Flesh and Blood is such a skill-intensive, low variance card game that I think it puts it on you. It puts it on you to just be a better player than the person you're sitting across from. Now, with all that in mind, sometimes you do just lose. Now, disclaimer out of the way here. Pitch stacking is tough because not only do, like, if you're playing an even 60 cards and you draw 4 cards every turn, and that's exactly what happens, and there's no extra drawing, there's no extra discarding, there's no anything like that, then you have 15 turns. You have 15 hands of drawing cards and then being able to put them back into the deck and then actually drawing back into it. That's just how it goes. That's exactly the math. When you're playing 61, 63, 67, when you are playing deck like KO that draws and discards and you get through your deck a lot faster, excuse me, it changes the entire math and the outcome and how fast you're going to get there, and you have to plan according to that. Now, when we talk about pitch stacking, I think when you start learning to pitch stack, one of the best ways to do it is you're going to say, I have 60 cards in my deck, and then every time you pitch a card, you're going to go, I've put 1 card back into my deck. And then the next turn, you're going to go, I've put 2 cards back into my deck. And when you get to like roughly turn 14 or 15, you're going to realize I've pitched 27 cards, and there are 30 cards in my deck. Which means the next hand I draw is going to have 3 unknown cards, and it's going to have the very first card I pitch stacked. The best way to make sure that you are keeping up with pitch stack when you start learning is to say, this is the very first card I pitched. If you're playing online and you're trying to teach yourself pitch stacking, literally take it like a sticky note, a little sticky note, and every game, when you do it, you go, I pitched an E-strike. That was the first card I pitched, and then you count, and you play it out the rest of the game, and then you go, this should be my pitch stack, and if it's not an E-strike, you know you did it wrong. That's the best way to start doing it, and that's the best advice I can give you about pitch stacking. Pitch stacking is very hard to do. Once you have mastered pitch stacking, and I think that mastered is a tough term because I'm not even remotely close to mastering pitch stacking. I think I'm pretty good at it, and I've come a long way over the last year in teaching myself how to do it, but it is one of the harder things to do in the game. When we talk about pitch stacking, when you have mastered getting your own pitch stack in order, it is then time to learn to count your opponent's pitch stack. So you're saying, my opponent's pitched 2 cards, and the first card they put on the bottom of their deck, which you don't always know for the most part, was a Blood Rush Bellow. So you're going, okay, my opponent's first card is a Blood Rush Bellow, and you go, okay, my opponent's deck has 32 cards in it. They've pitched 25 cards. That means they're going to draw up to 28, and then they're going to be 3 cards away from this after they put all their cards back into their deck. So you have to keep in mind that the Blood Rush could be coming up, and then it's close. And then you have to be preparing for that. And you're using when your opponent pitch stacked what to try and prepare into how the turn is going to play out. Now, with that in mind, if you are playing a deck that never gets to second cycle, some of this doesn't matter. If you are playing some of the new Mystic Instinct cards that say shuffle or do this or do that, it doesn't matter. Cards like Traverse the Universe where you search for a chi, it doesn't really matter until you get through that. Like examples of decks that don't really pitch stack that well because they shuffle, Azalea, Dash, anything that says search, cards like that, like Katsu, Zen, anything that plays Traverse the Universe, you're really not going to get that much value out of pitch stacking. Guardian is one of the best decks to learn to pitch stack on because you can literally start pitch stacking and go, you know what? I've pitched 3 blues. I'm going to pitch a Spinal Crush this turn because my first pitch stack hand is going to be 3 blues and a Spinal Crush, and I know that hand works. So I think that's one of the best way to learn and to start putting yourself into better pitch stacking scenarios. Because what happens is when you start pitch stacking and you start trying to teach yourself it, at first you're going, you know what? I think I have a Blood Rush Bellow in somewhere in the next 1 to 2 hands. And then 2 hands from then you draw a Blood Rush Bellow and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like I was close. And then from there it turns into this card's going to be Blood Rush Bellow. And you start to like piece that together. And then the next step is going, the first hand is going to have this. The second hand is going to have this. So that when you get to second cycle and you know where you're at and you draw that first 4-card hand, you're able to go, okay, here, my second hand's going to have this. My third hand's going to have this. My fourth hand's going to have this. And it gives you the ability to play an arsenal for the second cycle in a way that your opponent may or may not have already planned or set up for. So it kind of gives you a small edge there if your opponent's not prepared the same way you are. I hope that helps explain what you were asking about, Ahmad, and I hope that that kind of gives you like a better idea of what I was talking about. All right, with that in mind, let's keep rolling. We're 4-2. Let's get a drink of water here. Need a drink. All right, here we go. Vincent. I don't know that I have ever played against this hero. I know that my sideboard like is all messed up. Thanks a lot. Yeah, you're welcome, Ahmad. Happy to, man. I'm happy to try and help explain things in any way that I can. This seems like a Clash of Agility could be really solid here. Maybe I want Censor in this matchup to name cards they've banished if they try to set up big turns against me. Strength rules all seems pretty mediocre. Maybe Clash of Agility. We're gonna tell our opponent we're thinking here. Nah, let's just play 61. Let's just play 61 and run the Clash of Agilities. I think that's correct. This also might be a Tunic matchup. This is probably a Tunic matchup if I had to guess. They're running Vexing Quill Hand and Crown of Providence into me. Okay. Ooh. That's pretty good. Let's discard the Agile Windup. We draw into a blue, we have a phenomenal hand. If we draw into a blue, and we do, you absolutely love to see it. We're going to go Pack Hunt for 6 go again, and we're going to Intimidate a card here. And then we're going to go Pulping into Claw. We also have the ability to, we could have just thrown the Pack Hunt and then discarded the Agility and kind of wasted the Agility we made on turn 0. But I don't think that's the correct play. I think we are supposed to just try and set up and play more offense here. They could give a card from hand and a D-React to stop this right here, but I don't know that they would. Just got back to the game, played KO and Vincent twice at Armory and got murdered. So you were playing KO and you were getting absolutely murdered. Is that what you're saying, Zach? If that's the case, tell me why that is. I'm just curious. Because I'd be curious to know. I haven't played this matchup enough to like really give an honest opinion one way or the other and be like, oh yeah, it's really good or it's really bad. So I'd be curious to know why you feel like it's not going your way. Potentially something I could work on. I mean, I think that the shield is normally only played in the like heavy red line version, right? Like this one is used like to really try and get an eloquence when they're like playing more resource heavy deck, right? Or I don't want to say resource heavy, but maybe like just more resources in general. Yo, Mazurani, thank you for that follow on Twitch. Appreciate you being here and hanging out with us tonight. Guys, if you're here for the first time, whether you're Twitch, YouTube, Kick, wherever you're at, we got 3 questions we ask everybody. What's your name? What got you into Flesh and Blood? And what are your favorite hot dog toppings? Live in a part of the world where hot dogs aren't really your thing? Let me know what kind of food you like. I'd love to learn more about you. Let me know something about you in the chat. Yeah, I think the Grimoire haunt is like, I don't know, maybe they're playing an outdated list. Could be something like that. I'm not sure. I am not sure. Okay, yeah, so it was me. They were waiting on me. All right, this hand's pretty good. I mean, we're probably just going to pitch the Agile Windup to play Blood Rush. Like, just keep our hand. The Deathly Will, like, with 4 Rune Chants, can have a lot of potential here. Ooh, and an Eloquent Eulogy. Looking pretty good for them. Pretty good start here. They could have a lot of offense here. They could push a lot of pressure right here. Mobs, guys. Oh man, I really don't want to just give them the value from this. So I think we're just supposed to block like this, right? I like off-meta builds, keeps the game fresh for me. I mean, I get that, Ahmad. It's very fun to play against decks that are like off-meta because it keeps you on your toes and keeps you thinking about deck building in a way that you normally maybe don't get to experience that often. So I get that. It can be very fun to see that for sure. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Kobold. We are 100% locked in on playing, part of me just wants to get my headpiece here. Maybe feels like I'm getting baited a little bit, but we're gonna try it. But yeah, we're definitely locked in for KO for Nationals 100% at this point. I waffled probably longer than I should have, to be honest, and finally decided on a deck. I'm very honestly, in all seriousness, it's funny because Carly doesn't even play Question Blood, but Carly was very instrumental in that decision. Like one night she just looked at me and she was like, "You need to just stop and make a decision and play something." And I was like, "Okay, you're right." I was like, "You're right." And I've been on KO since. So Carly actually like really helping push me in the right direction. Not that Carly ever pushes me in a bad direction. You guys get what I'm saying. Honestly, I should have raced and I didn't own my CNCs yet, so that's pretty big. I was playing mid-range into them, but honestly don't know for sure. I mean, that's fair. I get that. I completely get that. Like, when you, like, not owning certain cards can force you into certain styles of gameplay and can make things more awkward for you at certain times, so I get that. She pulled the internet to force a decision. Dude, what? My God, I swear, dude, I don't know what is up. Like, just keep getting bots, like, on Twitch for some reason, and I don't get it. We're just gonna ban that bot as well, like we have been. Like, I really don't know what's going on. All right, let's play the Blood Rush here. I think we're supposed to. They have some good arsenal disruption that they could play. This is just claw into CNC. I hate only letting Blood Rush be a 1-for-2 here, but there's no world where I'm playing the Wild Ride first. If I get stuck with a red, I can't claw, and that's bad. Just played Wreck Havoc for budget replacements. I mean, to be honest, like, Wreck Havoc was not a bad budget replacement that they put into the KO Armory deck, which I thought was like a pretty cool addition for like a budget style build of the deck, honestly. Hey, what's up, dude? Oh, how are you, Taylor? You doing okay, man? So what was all that talk about the titanium bauble thing? Riku, you gotta let that go, man. Everybody's gotta let go of the titanium bauble. There was a titanium bauble in the deck I was testing. There was 3 of them. I never lied. I told you all the truth. And you guys gotta let that go. Oh, man. Hey, Weasel, what's up? YouTube helped me get back into the game, having a lot of fun. Dude, Weasel, that makes me so happy to hear that, man. I am so happy that you were able to get back into the game and, like, enjoy it more. And, like, dude, truly, I absolutely love to hear that with, like, every part of who I am. Like, getting people into Fab and, like, playing Flesh and Blood with people, like, that just, man, the more people that play the game, the better off it's going to be, brother. So I'm super happy to hear that. I appreciate you coming by and letting me know that. That means a lot that you came by and said that tonight. So this is going to be for 12. It's a lot of damage here. A lot of damage. Just hyped to see my boy. Taylor, if you're talking to me, I'm excited to see you too, man. I hope you're coming to dinner on Friday night. We're trying to put together a dinner plan. Go hang out with everybody. I hope you're coming, man. Any thoughts on the weakest link for KO? I mean, I was playing the weakest link, and then I cut it for Strength Rules All because I think it potentially has more play in the ninjas. Plus, it works better with Blood Rush. The best thing we can be doing this turn is probably just taking the 3 Rune Chants. This hand is, I mean, there's a lot of value in this hand here. Like, this, like, man, this is really for like 15, quote unquote. So if I block 6 and take 6, I go down to 15, and then they probably won't throw the flail at me. Oh, man, I really want to save this for like an on hit, and then I can throw runner for 7. We could block 10, take 2, go to 19. It's a little greedy, but I might roll here. If I had 12 block in my hand, I might just block 12, to be honest. Yeah, I think I'm going to roll here. It's a little greedy. It is a little greedy, and unfortunately, if we roll a 1, I have to live with my decision in Arsenal to run a runner. With 2 Rune Chants in play, could be a very good thing for them. We rolled a 6, which is pretty sweet. So we're going to go Claw for 4, and then we're going to throw the runner for 6 here. Friday, I can do it. My man, that's what I'm talking about. This is a psyop like Prismatic Leyline. Oh my gosh, dude! If I even like did well with Prismatic Leylines in my deck, dude, that would be wild. Or not Prismatic Leyline, Titanium Bauble. That would be wild. I was telling everybody the other night when we had our draft day to like practice draft for nationals, and I was telling everybody that was there, I was like, I want to take out Sync Belows out of one of the decks that I play Sync Belows in and play Evasive Leap to try to win like an RTN or a ProQuest, just to be like just because I think it would be a meme. So like honestly, what we might do if I qualify like next RTN season or like ProQuest season, if I qualify, there might be like a weekend where like we build a deck as a stream, and like where we build a deck and like try to just put something together, like something that could actually win, but also like a meme. Think on Enigma for the foreseeable future, as long as she's like at all relevant. I mean, she's a very strong deck, man. She's a very strong deck. Hype for 24 copies of Prismatic Leyline in the top 8 of Nats, bro. This is unpreventable. We don't really have, like, we're just falling down to 12 here, I think. If I take 8 and go to 4, they gain life. So I'll go to 4, they'll go to 10, and then we're gonna have to hope that we go like blue off of this. I don't even know if blue does what I want it to. What if I was to just block 9 and then Arsenal Blood Rush? We could also block Clash, E-Strike, pitch the Blood Rush to throw runner. I hate wasting this, but I don't know. Brush Off is a real card, I promise. All right, Riku's in some sauce over there. Was that a Rabble on top of their deck? Rabble is tough. Rabble is tough. So we have the agility we're not going to use. They're going to go to 10. And then we're going to Arsenal the Blood Rush. Considering we're still at 12, we might have a chance here. Man, so this is one of those hands I would like to block 6 and then pitch a blue to play Blood Rush and discard the Beast Within, because that still gives us access to 3 cards and 2 floating. But we didn't draw blue, nor are we able to... Man, it's like really awkward. Yeah, imagine Sash for this turn. Like, yeah, no, that's the truth. Oh, man, it's the Art of War. Oh, no, it's the Art of War. I think this Redline Rabble Vincent deck is actually so cool. I do agree, Darkodius. It's a really cool deck. It's a lot of fun. I've been watching Fabton, who hangs out in the chat. I've been watching him stream it, and it looks really cool. I've seen him pull off some pretty dirty turns. Also, like, the Art of War is like really sweet and spicy. I really enjoy the Art of War tech in this deck for like go again stuff, so it's pretty fun. Prismatic Leyline is secretly a dash card. I mean, you do play a suite of colors and dash, so I mean, nobody's lost life this turn, right? So this is just... Bro, what? Bro, what? Bro, what? Okay, so I'm sorry. I gotta think about our turn now. I truly, like, gotta think about this turn, because, like, what? Oh, man. All right. So I could discard this, pitch East. I could discard this ability, discard, and then pitch E-Strike to play Blood Rush. Hope we discard this. I think the best play is just to play the Blood Rush, in all honesty. Like, that was like the one card we were really hoping to keep. So this is 5 go again, followed by a wild ride for 8. Hopefully discard the Beast Within into being able to make something pretty dumb happen here. My opponent did not have an Eloquence token, right? They did not have one that I'm aware of. Chris is cringing so hard right now. He hates Rabble Vincetless. Lol, that's amazing. What is a good alternative for CNC and Codex? I've been trying to build a new deck, but those cards are expensive in my country. So, Enrique, I'm going to be honest, man. Like, you can substitute some cards. Like, you could try to play, like, some, like, disruptive pieces. Like, I know a lot of people have tried to play, like, Wreck Havoc as, like, a budget version for CNC. But I'm going to be real with you. I don't know what card you can play to have to like replace Codex. Codex is insane. You could try to play Codex of Blood Rot if you wanted to. Maybe a card like that could be okay. Codex of Inertia has a lot of play in other decks, so I guess it depends on like, do you want to substitute one of the other Codex cards for a, I don't know, like, do you want to substitute like another Codex card? Oh no, Big Sedge. All right, that's okay. I mean, this is still 8 points of damage when my opponent's at 6 with 1 card in hand, so. Codex is too unique. Just play more attacks. I mean, that's also an idea. Is Give and Take, but it's not even close. Ooh, Give and Take's a spicy replacement card. I hadn't even considered that. Okay, I really don't know what happened that game. Let's review their hand and what they blocked with. Because that's what... Why won't it show me? No. Show me! Really? You'll let me look at the top of the decks, but you won't let me... Alright, let's see if we can read the chat here to see if we can find anything. Art of War plays Funeral Moon. Blocked with Bounding Demagon. No, is that really all it's going to tell me? They blocked with Crown of Providence, Bounding Demagon. They blocked with Phantom Wraith. And Widespread Annihilation. So they definitely could have played something and they just chose not to. I do not... I mean, I know that they died from Blood Debt, but like... I don't understand why they did nothing on their turn. That makes zero sense to me. They should have had something they could have done, like a 2 for 6, or like they had blues, like they had options. Even if they drew into the blue, they still had like 2 reds and a 2. Like they felt like their best play was to play Funeral Moon that turn, and I don't agree with that. They gambled on me not having a Blood Rush turn. I mean, that's fair. I guess that's something that could happen. I think this is a go second kind of matchup. We want tempo in this matchup. That's how we win this game. I mean, Memorial Ground is a similar effect in Azalea, but not 1-to-1. I mean, that's fair. So I guess like Memorial Ground does kind of play like some like budget version, like as like a Memorial Ground could be like a budget version. We're gonna play. We're gonna use Tunic this game. I think Tunic is correct here. Clash of Agility. Strength rules all Wild Ride, and I think 64 cards. We don't really want Censor. I mean, I guess we can name cards like Bonds of Agony. Persuasive Prognosis is a good card. We are diluting our deck if we bring in cards like Censor at a certain point when we're not exactly going to be able to name like a lot of value cards. Codex could be really good. You know what? Like, let's theorycraft a little bit and see how Censor feels this game. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about this, but we're going to test this theory and see how it feels. This is terrible. This is the second time we've drawn triple no blocks on turn 0, and that's really weird. Hopefully they just pass. Like, hopefully they like throw a dagger and pass, because I'll take 1 on the first dagger, to be honest. It's very bad for us, but I'm going to take this. I mean, I say it's very bad. It's essentially like 2 life here. And see, now this is really bad because I physically can only block 2. And then they get a runner, and the riled up gets banished. Yep. I mean, I'm hoping we draw blue. If we don't draw like a resource card, we're in bad shape. Man, they banished a red off the top and we drew into a red. That is rough skis. Okay, I mean, this is a good card to Arsenal. So, yeah, I mean, even with full attack actions, they can still throw something at us though, right? Ember? But they can still do something. Well, this is not exactly what I meant when I said I want to go second to take tempo here. I like that they're on the flick knives like combo. They're on like the combo build of the deck, and I think against me that is correct. They've already gathered up like 1 blue in my banish zone to like try and make that happen, and I think that the combo version of the deck against like the combo plan against KO is correct. The couple of nights that we played new on stream, we had a lot of success playing the combo into KO. So all right. I'm hoping for no Arsenal disruption here. Hand disruption would be okay. I think I would be fine, but I really want to dodge. I think I really want to dodge Arsenal disruption is what I'm looking to avoid. We're going to met the misplayed hit. Thanks for the recommendation and cards in the chat. I can see some lights now. Yo, absolutely, man. I'm always happy to chat about Flesh and Blood cards in general. Like, just like, love streaming and I love hanging out with you guys. So it's like you guys being here and hanging out and talking, like what makes it so much fun for me. So I appreciate you guys being here. We're gonna say no blocks on this one. Okay. Yep. 7 and banish 2 cards plus the hiss, and then they're gonna Arsenal the Slither. Hiss. I'm now down 14 points, and they're setting up their game plan very well with 2 blue cards already, so we are in a bad spot. We may be going home early to cry about it. This is rough. This is not looking good. So discard a riled up. So depending on how our opponent blocks, and because of the attack actions, they actually gain 2 life, so they're back to 40. Yeah, this has been a really bad start for us. This is one of the problems with playing in the new, is that like our hand did not block or attack efficiently on turn 2. Like we had a horrible start to this game, and so now we're gonna have to claw and scratch for every point we can. I really hope you get thrown into some feature match, dude. I would love to be on camera one time. I told Ethan that the other day that like, you know, when I finally make it to the finals of a ProQuest like Plus, you know, being streamed, and they had to cut it off early, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm low key really hoping that like I have a good enough start to where like, you know, they put me on camera, or maybe I just do well enough for the tournament in general to where they put me on camera. I would like to be on camera. I think it would be fun, and I think it'd be a good time. I'm gonna throw the CNC here if they still have their Arsenal. I just want a deck for new hates. Oh, bro. I don't know about... man, like, new's not that bad, brother. New's not that bad. Like, new's tough, and I agree that new can be, like, very tough and, like, toxic at times, but I think the kind of disruption that new offers is good for the metagame, and to some extent. If you're able to get 1 codex, something like Spider's Bite into Give and Take, and they block with 2 cards you get by codex. Oh, that's cool. That is an interesting loop, Riku. I do like that. What did they lose? What got destroyed off the Command and Conquer? Oh, the Slither. So maybe I'm supposed to throw the 2 for 8 there and Arsenal to Command and Conquer? So if I block 5, I can go swing big, claw, discard the agile windup here. Your round 1 feature at Nationals? Bro, I would love to be round 1 feature at Nationals. That would be so much fun. I would love to be on camera. So like my only real experience with being on camera came in Magic, and I got dumpstered on camera. It's like my one experience with playing card games at a very high competitive level on camera, and I got absolutely rickrolled by this guy who was very good. His name's Brad Nelson. He's a very good Magic player. All right, so they have the 1 for 3 here. No, they have the Codex. Okay, that's fine too. I mean, it's unfortunate and really like shuts our turn down here a little bit, but it's okay. Because it means that they're going to go get another, they're going to get Leave No Witnesses again. Also means that they're going to have a harder time using the combo, so we're just going to give some equipment here. I definitely was not expecting Codex there, but having this much equipment this early in the game gives us the ability to kind of play around it. Also, having an arsenal like really protects us here, which is really good. This is going to be swing big for 9 into discard the agile windup for agility and a might. We have already like somewhat brought the game back a little bit here. Just casually one of the best American players ever. If you're talking about Brad Nelson, then yes, absolutely. I played Brad Nelson. For anybody who played Magic who's hanging out in the chat, I was playing at the Star City Games Invitational. You can find the game. It's like you can find it on camera. I was playing at the Invitational, the end of the year Star City Games Invitational they were having, and I had played Brad Nelson the round before, the night before in Modern, and I was playing Burn, and he was playing Death Shadow, and I had actually ended up beating him in Modern, and so we were both 6-2 going into the next day. Okay, I was getting asked, my opponent was there. And so I'd beaten him the night before, and we played in Standard, and I was playing this like red-green energy aggro deck during that Standard, and he was playing green-black Delirium at the time, and he absolutely curb stomped me. Put Emrakul into play on turn 6, and I cried. So if you haven't played Magic, don't worry about it. If you have, you probably understand most of the things I just said. But it was like I got absolutely rickrolled on camera. I made a really bad play too. I can't wait to see you on camera, Chips. I appreciate it, brother. Y'all are getting me hyped up, hoping I make it on camera. We're going to use Tunic to throw the claw for 2. I don't necessarily like the claw for 2 play, but I think we should use the Tunic effectively. I did not the last time we had this opportunity, given that I had the ability to throw claw in a CNC, and so I'm definitely going to take this opportunity this time around. And we're going to make a might and an agility, and if they have any arsenal disruption they were trying to hang on to, then we just kind of rendered it useless, which I like to see. Okay, this hand does not want to block. I mean, I guess this hand technically could block with a Wrecker Romp and an Apex if it wanted to. We could also be in a world where we could give Flush Bag if we really wanted to try and shut down their turn, but I don't think so. Dude, that's a sick flex, 100%. What's a sick flex, Mark? I'm sorry, I'm confused. Are you talking about me getting beat on camera by Brad Nelson? I don't know how that's a flex. Too many cards to keep in mind, but it's really dope to do so well in the SCG. Yeah, I was really excited because, you know, the SCG, like the Invitationals, like they're a big tournament towards the end of the year. So I was pretty stoked about doing well in that, you know. 6-2 was a really good record. I was very excited about that. Deal. You can have one of my blues. Deal. They take the Assault and Battery. I 100% agree with that decision. They also draw a card. They drew into a Venomous Bite. All right, cool. I mean, it's good. Okay, and they have a Hiss. Okay, so they're going to play the Fang Strike to put this up to 8. I'm going to take 5, go down to 19. They're probably going to gain a life and go to 23 if I had to guess. Right? They just have to get another red card here. Like, they can get a Swing Big. As long as it shares a color, I think is what this is. With the same color, gain a life. Yeah, this is a really good card to take in Limited, in my opinion. As it gives you the, like, there aren't many things that, like, have the natural inherent ability of gaining go again in certain matchups, or I'm sorry, gaining life off those cards, and I think that's one of them, and it serves a really good purpose there. So they have a go again. They have a Slither in their arsenal. We're gonna play Bear Fangs, and we're gonna hope to like not hit a Blood Rush here, and then we're gonna 9 and then come in with Claw. So we're gonna push 12 points off of a 2-card hand. We blocked. No, I'm sorry, 3-card hand. So we blocked 3. Our 4-card hand was 15 points. I mean, just KO things, right? Getting to play against Brad, especially in day 2 in OCG. Yeah, no, it was really cool. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. And Brad Nelson was a really nice guy. He was really cool and like really nice to talk to him, like play against. He was fun. I say that, you know, I feel like I say that a lot. Like, oh, this person's really cool or this person's really nice. I haven't really had many bad experiences with people. I mean, I can think of a couple, but, you know, not a ton. Oh, my opponent said they're thinking. We'll let them know, no problem here. But I've had a couple, you know, bad experiences with players, but nothing really, you know, crazy. Most people are just happy to be there and play cards, and most people just want to hang out, you know, like it's their hobby. They're not there to cause problems. Most people are just, you know, there to have a good time, and that's a whole like vibe I really get along with. It's me. My man said it's me. I'm the bad experience. Okay, so I don't know. I don't buy that for a second. Until we physically have a bad experience together, I don't believe you for a second. Not for a second. I think you have very strong opinions, but I don't think you're a bad experience to play against. You haven't met me? You're right, I have not met you. Are you coming to Nationals? Wait. You're in Canada, right? You live in Canada, Noah? Are you going to Canada Nationals? Canadian Nats, I guess is how you'd say that. Is that what you're doing? Oh boy, what a hand. I'm coming to my Nationals. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm the baddie experience. Trent gets it. Trent understood the assignment. I love that. Dude, I hope I do get to meet you one day. Because, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely, like, after, like, seeing, like, having you in the chat and, like, you know, talking to you some, like, I get what you're saying, that, like, you definitely have strong opinions, and I can definitely understand how you rub people the wrong way sometimes, but I don't think meeting you is a bad experience. I don't think playing cards against you would be a bad experience, but of course you do. Everyone wants to meet me. I don't know about that. I think this is a pretty easy fleshback here. We pretty much just get to like free up that we get to protect this from what we want to do here, and we get to keep our Blood Rush hand. The Slither gives go again. They want to arsenal their other card. I mean, maybe I'm just supposed to like give scabs there, because I mean, maybe they could have slithered into Codex. Like, maybe that was the correct play. I do think we're going to go for this line here. We're going to hope to hit a blue, and if not, I'm going to cry myself to sleep tonight. Carly gets used to that, though. I make bad plays on stream all the time, and I'm just like, happens all the time. So playing Wild Ride first, I think, is actually correct, because if we draw into a Roughshod, it is 7 versus 5, and that is technically better. So playing the Wild Ride, while although a little maybe more aggressive here, might not always be correct, because if you discard a non-6, you don't have go again, and that's really bad for the Blood Rush turn. But I think that here it is potentially better, because the biggest upside is that we hit into a Roughshod and throw it for 7. Only KO tonight? Yeah, no, we're locked in for Nationals, Blake. We're testing KO for Nationals, buddy. We are locked in, dialed in. Hopefully that means good things come this next weekend. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, ads. That's fun. I'm levitating. When is Nationals? Nationals is this coming weekend. U.S. Nationals is this coming weekend. It will be starts on Friday. I assume it's going to be streamed by Ethan. Ethan is like the king of coverage. I assume he's going to be streaming it. But yeah, it's this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I need his cards to go cheaper so I can buy them next week. Oh, Zen, don't let Zen get it so that you can buy the cards. I will do my best. I'm scared of what this could mean, but I think we're going to take one here. I much prefer when people throw the blue dagger at me. I mean, okay. Sure. I don't. Ooh. Okay, so gonna give this go again and then banish a card from my hand. Oh, no. We're gonna activate new. And then. No, we hadn't played a blue? What is going on? No blocks, pal. Imagine if Ice was still in the meta. I wish Ice was in the meta. I think Ice is healthy for the game. Let's please not everyone show up at my house with pitchforks. I think Ice is healthy for the game. I said it and I'll say it again. Discard the beast within. Dang. Never lucky. I'm so excited. I'm only 2 hours away from Nats. Oh, dude, let's go. 2 hours away from Nats is awesome, dude. Like, I think, yeah, that's really cool. Being 2 hours away from, like, a big event like that is super exciting, man. That's awesome. Want to see the spicy change to Enigma I've done? Yeah, if you want to text it to me, I'm down for that. Ice would do so little. Ice would do so little. Do you mean in the metagame as a whole, Lucas? Like, you just feel like Ice wouldn't have that big of an impact? Is that what you're trying to say? I just want to make sure that I understand before I, like, really delve into the thought there. Sorry, I know you guys can hear me shuffling my cards. Dreaming of being able to play a talented Guardian again? Bro, Brim, go on, dude. I'd like Ice, but not another Ice Wizard. Zen and Enigma wouldn't care too much. Oh, you mean for best deck and format? Oh, okay. I mean, so not that relevant for like some of the bigger heroes in the game. That's fair. That's probably true looking at the meta. More shuffling ASMR, please. What kind of shuffle do you like to do when playing? So I have 4 cards laid out that I shuffle. I have a Scar for a Scar. I don't know where the light gets messed up and you... Okay, there you go. Scar for Scar. I have an Ether Hell. I have a Lava Burst. And I have a Soul Reaping. They're 4 of my favorite cards ever made for Flesh and Blood. I think they all bring a very unique thing into the game, and they have all served very different, very valid purposes at different parts of the metagame. And I am a big fan of all of those cards, so I like to shuffle them because they're 4 of my favorite cards. And they also represent a lot of like how I feel about the deck in general, or about the game in general and the different heroes I like to play. So those are the ones I do. They have Leave No Witnesses here. All right, so what has go again? Wild Ride? We get Wild Ride, discard Wild Ride. Block Wrecker Romp and Bone Breaker. I like that they're forced to get this because it gives me a pretty clean block and I get to have a pretty good hand here. I've only played 1 Blood Rush, so there's 1 more Blood Rush left in the deck. And we also have Cast Bones in, I think. Maybe I didn't bring in Cast Bones. I can't remember. I don't remember the 100% the sideboard plan here for this matchup. I need to look at that after this to make sure. Ice Illusionists attacking with Frostbites. Now, listen. Oh, wow. That's actually bananas. Bananas. This shit. It's bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. This shit. It's bananas. I'm gonna like make that like I'm gonna get like a soundboard and I'm gonna make that one of the things. I would love to see more Frostbites in the metagame. Like I know that's very unpopular, but I love Frostbites. Icelander was like the only true control deck we've ever had. There are a lot of disruptive decks in the metagame, but Icelander was the only hero that truly got to determine on both sides of the turn cycle when to make a move, in my opinion. I sure hope Savage Feats will be doing coverage. That means I'll have a fun weekend watching some good Fab games. Dude, absolutely. I love that Savage Feats puts on like all the coverage. Like I'm such a huge fan of Ethan doing all the coverage like that. And I know that there's another guy who's a part of Savage Feats, and I don't mean that disrespectfully because I'm sure he does his part and is a part of that team in general. But Ethan's like really the only part of that I know. So it sounds mean, but I really don't mean it like that. Like I'm sure he's a very valuable part of what him and Ethan do. That's the kind of thought that gets people at your house with pitchforks. I did specifically ask that people don't show up with pitchforks, so maybe I should, think about some of my thought processes there. GG's and good luck, aggro. Gonna go stream myself. Dude, have a good night, Apton. I appreciate you coming by and hanging out, man. Hope your stream goes well, brother. Hope your stream goes well, brother. That's terrifying to just be staring at. Few times I've been around that track. It's not as cool to have been like that, cause ain't no holler back, girl. Nah, 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 nah. They're just dead, right? We don't have to do anything fun. They're just dead since they're at 1. Yay, we did it. Hooray. Voice emo, we did it. I often sing the Dora theme song. More than I think most adults do, if I'm being entirely honest. The frequency she could pump out Frostbites is too in your face. I do think the token itself will return. I mean, so like that was kind of the whole point though. Was that like she could pump out Frostbites every turn. Like making the metagame, and this is like a very controversial opinion that I'm getting ready to throw out here, is that there is nothing wrong with Frostbites being in the game. Frostbites being in the game and your deck being forced to have less raw power to have more consistency added to it is a great thing, in my opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like decks like KO that play these 22 blue decks. If Icelander was in the format, they're playing 24 all of a sudden. That's why decks like Dash did so well, because they were able to apply a lot of pressure and still like AB things and like put out resources. And so I think that decks like KO do well in the meta like that. And I don't know, like I think that Icelander was very healthy for the meta, but I know that it's a very controversial opinion and that a lot of people didn't feel that way. So like Justin said, for the idea of, not, getting stabbed while I'm at nationals, I try to keep those opinions to myself sometimes. Nathan is the second Savage Feats person. He's actually going to be there helping out this weekend. He's the one managing most of the business shenanigans. Okay, cool. So yeah, Nathan, like, thank you for letting me know that, Sigma. I actually didn't know that. Like, and that's why I say that, like, I genuinely didn't mean that as like, that wasn't supposed to be a slight at Nathan. Like, I'm sure he does a lot of stuff. Just because we see Ethan out and about and doing all the stuff, what seems like all the stuff most of the time, doesn't mean that's how it actually goes down. And I understand that. So I genuinely meant that. That was not a slight at Nathan. I'm sure he does a lot of stuff for the stream. Frostbite shouldn't have triggered a break where if another instant is played, you get taxed if it hasn't resolved yet. I can get on board with that, Blake. I think that's fair, to where like the Frostbites just instantaneously pop after being played. There's no like response window. I think that makes sense. Next time we have Frostbites is going to be an on-hit cost, like Frostbite pay X to get Frostbites. Okay, that's cool. I can get down with that too. I like that too, Rico. I can see that. All right, guys, that's it for the stream tonight. We went 6-2 playing KO. KO felt really strong, felt really good. I feel very confident in my pick for nationals. I'm kind of hoping to just dodge Zen at this point. That's kind of like the world that I'm living in. I don't know that there's a hero that you can play right now where you're not just going, I hope I'm going to dodge this. That's just kind of the world, the meta we're in right now. So I'm hoping for a little bit of gym luck. If I am on stream this weekend, I will make sure to post it in the Discord so that you guys are aware of it. If you're not a part of the Discord, hit ! Discord no matter where you're at. And love you have you in the Discord. Also, Weasel, thank you for that follow on Twitch, brother. I really appreciate it. But I'm gonna get out of here. There's no stream tomorrow night. Me and Carly are hanging out before I leave on Thursday to go to Minnesota. No streams this weekend because Nationals, obviously. We'll be back next week. We'll get a recap going. We'll talk about everything and we'll get some more games. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. And if you travel to Nationals, be safe. Hope to see you guys there.